Well, a tremendous Tuesday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, sports1440.ca. As always, the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where it is a Tuesday, your chance to get in on Lotto Max for a cool $55 million. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. And, man, we have a loaded show for you today. Lots to discuss. I think it's safe to say if you expect playoff games to invoke emotion, well, that's what's going to happen from last night. No question. Send me the line at the game last night. Some of you probably were like, I'm out. 4-0. The Oilers have generated nothing, literally nothing. In the first 38 minutes of last night's game, the Oilers had a whopping 8 shots on goal. 2 of them from within 29 feet. And some of their best chances, they just didn't shoot on. So we can get into that. But the first 38 minutes, let's be honest, it was not good. Some bad giveaways. They weren't in the game. They were not in the same area code as the LA Kings for last night's game. But when it went down 4-0, then Leon Draisaitl, I don't know if you saw, I'm sure if you're watching, many of you saw it on the broadcast. Leon Draisaitl's on the bench, and he was giving it to his teammates. It's 4-0. He was fired up, and as he should have been, because it was 4-0, and it was deserved of a 4-0 game. It's not like you would look and say, well, geez, it's 4-0, but we're playing really well, and Darcy Kemper's standing on his head. Nope. Darcy Kemper could have been sitting in a rocking chair the first 38 minutes. It was barely tested. And the Oilers were leaking. The Oilers in that game allowed 14 high-danger chances. Their expected goals against was 4.69. All last year in the playoffs. The most high dangers they ever gave up in one game was 11, and they had one game at 4 expected goals against. That was a game that Skinner stole them the game. They won. But you can't, and that was 11. He had 14 last night. Now compare that to the Winnipeg Jets, where everybody's like, oh my God, Connor Halley's the greatest goalie in the world. Do you know how many high danger chances he faced? 4. So 14. You're just not going to win many games. It's that simple. Look at Darcy Kemper. He faced 9. Skinner actually made more high-danger saves than Kemper did last night. Can't blame it on. If you want to say, I'd like one more save, okay, sure, you'd like one more save, but would you like, how many fewer giveaways would you like? How many more shots on goal would you like through 30 minutes? You can't just say, I only like one save. Like, that's going to change the whole game. I can't buy it. I don't see Stuart Skinner as the major reason they lost that game last night. Not close. The Oilers just weren't in it. Now, I give them credit in the third period. They came back. And the Oilers on that 5-on-3, and we'll get into that, because that was a fascinating sequence, right? It's 5-3. Corey Perry, the ageless wonder, might have got away with a little bit of a cross-check on that play. Did you see the replay? And probably not, just a smart move, takes a stick right in the back of Edmondson. I'm just going to steer you out of the way. Edmondson goes down. McDavid slides it across. Perry puts it in the net. 5-3. And you're thinking, maybe I got a chance. And then Jake Wallman throws one over the glass. Now, he firmly believed that hit the glass. And we watched the replay. And it looked like on the one replay they kept showing over and over, you see the puck, it's going up. And did it change direction? Well, it kind of did. You thought it did, but nothing conclusive. Because if that was the other way, you wouldn't have said, oh, no. So I get why they didn't overturn it. It was called a penalty on the ice. And they didn't overturn it because there was nothing conclusive 100% to show. And because the Oilers challenged it, now it's a 5-on-3 for 2 minutes. Now, the Kings had a 5-on-3 earlier for a grand total of 5 seconds because they won the face-off cleanly. Kopitar, Kuzmenko pushes it back. Kempe over to Fiala, one-timer, bang, goal. So you're thinking, oh, my God, now it's lights out. It's a 2-minute 5-on-3, and the Kings' power play at that point was 2 for 3 and looking pretty good. But Josh Brown had a big block. Nurse had 2 big blocks. Skinner makes 3 saves, and you're thinking, "Ooh, geez, they got out of it." And it kept them alive. And then Hyman scores. And then McDavid scores. And then the Kings, like, you go back and you watch that sequence. So the Oilers win the offensive faceoff. McDavid gets it. He's circling high where he loves to circle. High on top of the circles, inside the blue line. And he looks to backhand a pass into the corner to his teammate. And I'll give Gavrikov credit. He knocked it down midair, knocks it down. Then he hammers it off the boards, right? Bouchard standing the line, tries to knock it down, can't get it. It rolls out to center. Moore has it. It's a race. Wallman shows great speed, catches him, veers him off. Now Moore has to stop. Now, Edmonton was unable because their third guys were deep where McDavid turns it over. Not really a turnover, I should say. This attempted pass, it's knocked down. I'd say that's more of a good play by Gavrikov, although on the stat sheet, it looks as a turnover, and which led directly to a goal. And then Deneau comes in. He's in the slot, skating in, got traffic in front, looks to one-time the puck, and completely muffs it. How many of you have seen your buddy? Like, that was men's league Division 5 trying to one-time the puck. That's what that was. And no offense to guys in the men's league Division 5, but you know exactly what I mean. That's what happens. He muffed it. He fluffed it. And it goes up and over and finds a way in. Unlucky goal. Now, you know, I had people asking, well, how is that? Why is that considered a high danger because of the shot? Well, how they track high danger, and it's a fair question. And so how they track high danger chances, and I want to get the exact wording here from Woodley because he sent me a text because I'd asked him about that specific one. I'm like, was that considered a high danger chance? Because, you know, you look at the quality of shot, but when they say a quality chance, they're looking at so it's a moving screen, right? And so, now you're a goal. Anything that has a real blatant screen is usually automatically considered a high danger chance, right? Remember when he has Breeze Galliv on the business of sports a few weeks ago? He talked about it. So now I'm in goal. I'm playing. They got 90 miles an hour, and then you got guys coming through you in a screen. You still want me to save it? Like, it's hard, right? It's difficult. So usually, if you see a play where a guy's shooting from a good area of the ice and there's a really good screen like they had there. Devin Dubnyk on Oilers Nation earlier today decided, man, it's all these guys coming downhill. You as a goalie, like, it's hard to see. And you got to remember, this is a split-second one. And you're expecting the guy to shoot it 80, 85, 90 miles an hour, depending. So you play it, you come in, okay, the puck's going to hit me in blank seconds. You're not even thinking of a flutter shot over because you don't have time to react. But it's considered a high danger chance because of how it's set up, screen in front, guy walking down Main Street to one-time a puck. And it goes in. Unlucky. Like, to me, it's a lucky break for LA. It's unlucky for the Oilers. But Gavrikov probably doesn't get talked about enough, but that's a hell of a play by him in the defensive zone to knock down that attempted pass by McDavid, who, by the way, was unreal in the third period. And really, in the final minutes of the second, that play around Kopitar, and like you go, and that was a little bit of a broken play, right? They're coming in, it's 4-0, dry settles. You saw him reaming guys out on the bench, comes in the blue line, drop passes to McDavid, misses him, but Bouchard picks it up, skates down to the left corner, does a little tight circle, comes back. Now he drops it back to McDavid, and that spin move off of Kopitar to cut underneath inside at the top of the circle. That's a hell of a play. It's a hell of a play by McDavid. Now, if that's in the waning seconds of a 3-1 game, Kopitar probably just grabs him and takes a penalty. But it's 4-0. He's like, you know what? Hey, he made a great play. I'm not going to take a penalty. And then he finds Draisaitl, and the Oilers had some life, and more life than we thought. And then what about the second goal of the game for the Oilers? Matthias Janmark finally scores a goal where he shoots the puck past a goalie. His first goal of the year was an empty netter. His only other goal was when Connor Brown shot the puck from the sideboards. Janmark was screening the goalie in front, and the goal just the puck kind of grazed off of his jersey / hip and went in the net. Those were his 2 goals all year. But Janmark in the playoffs shows up, scores a goal. Trent Frederick, first assist as an Oiler in his second game. Jeff Skinner's first ever playoff assist in his 1,079th game just happened to be his first playoff game. Like, who would have thought that would be a combination that would score a goal early in the third? And then Corey Perry. And then McDavid. And you're thinking, my goodness, the Oilers have a chance. And they did. They tied it. How many people thought it was going to overtime? And here's probably, now you might not like this, Oilers fans, but I always like to, uncover a few unique stats. So last night was the fourth time in Oilers franchise history that they've tied a playoff game in the final 2 minutes. Happened in 1984. Wayne Gretzky. Game 2, round 2 against the Flames. Tied it. That game was in Edmonton. Game 3, round 1 in Edmonton versus Dallas 2001. Rem Murray tied the game. Game 4, round 2 in Edmonton, Drake Caggiula for the Oilers. 2017 ties it against the Ducks. All 3 games go to overtime. The Oilers lost all 3 games. Last night, McDavid ties it. They lost. That's unreal. 4 times you tie. You think you got all the momentum? Didn't happen. Now, the Oilers did win the series in 84 against the Flames. They won. They lost it in 2017 and 2001. So we'll see. Because this series is TBD to see where it goes. But it's, man, game ones. The Oilers franchise, in the McDavid era, they're now 3-11. But in the salary cap era, the Oilers are 4-14 in game. I guess I should say 4-13 in game 7s in 7 game series, because the one loss against Chicago was a best of 5. So I don't know. Do we want to count it? Maybe not. Either way, 4-13, not ideal. Not ideal at all in best of 7s. But they've come back, and guess what? They've won so far of the previous 16. They won 10 of them. They went 10-6. So the one thing they're good at is they can come from behind. Don't make life easy on them. Remember how upset you were back in 2022? Because I was in the building that night. I remember it because the game started at 8:52 in Calgary. I'm like, what is going on? And that was the 9-6 game. And everybody was like, oh my God, dude, like Mike Smith's brutal. They're never winning anything. And then the Oilers won the next 4 games. So that's what's great about the playoffs. You're fired up. You're emotionally invested. More emotionally invested than the Oilers were in the first 38 minutes of last night's game. I'll tell you that. So the good news is the Oilers, they've got 22 minutes they can focus on. Hey, we had a lot of good things happen here. We killed off a 5-on-3 for 2 minutes. We came back. We created some chances. We got inside. Did a lot of things we liked. Great. Then there's the coach, Chris Knobloch, who's going to say, yeah, that's all great. We'll focus on that. But let's just remind ourselves what the hell happened in the first 38 minutes. We generated nothing, and we're leaking chances all over the place. All over the place. So the Oilers, hey, man, they're going to have to be better. There's no question about it. I'm not sure they can play much better than the final 22 minutes. That's good. But I'm sure the LA Kings, like their role reversal. Guys, we loved our first 38 minutes. Let's just keep doing that. Right? They're not going to love. Now, they're going to love that they came back and won the game, sure. But it was entertaining because I'll tell you, for the first 38 minutes, Connor Halley, honestly, I think that was the most uneventful playoff game I can ever recall up until that point. Obviously, it changed. But those first 38 minutes, like, there was nothing going on. Like, the Oilers, they had 8 shots. And it's not like the Kings were doing a whole bunch. Obviously, they were leading. And, and the Oilers had, they kind of gifted them 2 goals there. Now, I know Bouchard on the 3rd and 4th, but, like, what did you think, Cons? Can you think of any game through 2 periods where you're like, man, like, the Oilers are doing nothing?
No, it's been a long time. And I mean, maybe you could go back to some of those games where they didn't have McDavid and Draisaitl and it was a little meh of an effort. But with those guys in the lineup, and they only had 2 shots, right, combined, which was wild to me. So, yeah, throughout the 2/3 of the game more. So it was just kind of not a whole lot of good from any side. Kings obviously took advantage of the things they got with the power plays and capitalizing. But, yeah, nice response. Great 1/3 of the game.
Well, the other thing is, like, let's talk about special teams. We talked about it before the series. The Oilers last year dominated special teams. 100% on the penalty kill, 45% in the power play. Through 1 game, it's been role reversal. The Oilers power play had 2 shots in their 4 minutes of power play time. None overly dangerous. The Kings went 2 for 5. They scored 2 goals. So they're 40%. Like, think about it. There's the difference. Right? There's another part of the game that you look at and say, hey, man, we got to find a way to well, maybe now they'll say, oh, Gregor, 5-2. Yeah, but keep in mind, one is a penalty that's not like, oh, it's hooking, it's roughing, it's over the glass. It's a penalty or not. They even reviewed it. That's a penalty. And then the other one is a delay a game because you challenged it. So actual infractions in the game were 3-2. So I don't really think I can blame the officials very much. Last night I thought the Kulak penalty to start, I'm like, okay, that's what they're going to call. They're going to call it really tight. But neither team, I thought, did a ton that was glaring. There's always going to be a call. Hey, geez, I think that should be a call. Okay, fine. But then there's other ones. Okay, that could be a call. But for the most part, I don't think the officiating was the story in last night's game. I know you might look at 5-2 and think it was, but keep in mind what 2 of the penalties were. Like those aren't like, oh, you got away with one. You shoot it over the glass. It's a penalty. And there's nothing on the replay that I saw that made it 100%. Yes, that hit the glass. So, hey, Greg's on the 6th goal. You're describing a changeup. Some of the best hitters in baseball who practice their whole life get caught by it. Stuff happens. Steven Drumheller. Well, yeah, it's like a flutter puck, screen in front. I can't really blame the goalie on that play at all, in my eyes. So, Bouchard, we got a lot of texts coming in at 833-401-1440 in our email inbox. What about Bouchard in the 3rd and 4th goal? If I had to pick, the 3rd goal bothers me more. So Bouchard's a right-hand shot. He's going back for the puck in what is technically the left corner, right? If you look at it that way, that's your left defenses, but he's on that side. He's on his forehand. He elects to put it up the wall kind of blindly on his backhand. Why? Just rim it around the boards. Because that's the F1 forward was already on you. The F2 isn't going to be on the other side of the ice. You got to ring that puck around. On the 4th goal, where he's behind the net, now he sees McDavid, and he's clear what he's trying to do. He's trying to put the puck to McDavid. Now, is it a little bit of a fancy pass? Yeah, but those guys do those plays. So, and you tried it. It didn't work. It goes right to Dano in front. It's terrible. He walks down the pipe, puts a perfect shot right inside the post. What are you going to do? But I actually had more of an issue with the 3rd goal than the 4th goal because I hate when a defenseman tries to go against the grain on their backhand. Why? You're on your forehand. You can shoot way harder. Just rim it around the boards. The Kings aren't going to have anybody over there. Why would they have a forward there? Right? Worst case scenario, it's going to be an icing. Or you probably get a guy who stops it just inside the blue line. So I didn't like that one at all. Bouchard played almost 28 minutes, had 3 assists. Now, 2 of them were, great plays by McDavid that, he just gave him the puck. That's fine. But Bouchard made a lot of good plays. And the truth of the matter is, the Oilers are going to have to rely heavily on their top 4 defensemen. That's just how it is. Ekholm's not coming back. Stetcher's not playing tomorrow. He's probably not playing Friday, probably not playing Sunday. So what you see is what you're going to get. I don't think they're going to play Cam Dineen in case anybody's out there thinking, hey, Cam Dineen. I don't think they're playing Cam Dineen tons of minutes either. He might come in and play 7 instead of 5. I don't think, it's not going to be a big deal. So, they're going to have to rely on the top 4D. And lots of teams have done it. I went through it, and actually it's in my article at Oilers Nation. There's lots of teams since 2010 who had 4 defensemen play 22 minutes or more per night, an average. The Blackhawks one year, Duncan Keith, because of overtimes, he was averaging 31 minutes. Seabrook was at 27. Hjarmelson and Naduya were 25. Like lots of teams have had 4 guys at 24, 4 guys at 25. So you can do it. It's not ideal, but you can do it. And that's just where the Oilers are at. And all I know is, as a team, they better buckle down and be better defensively. You can't give up 14 high-danger chances and think you're going to win more, especially. So the same people who want to scream and yell about the goalie, well, he's not an elite goalie. Yeah, we agree. So you don't have an elite goalie, but then you expect him to be elite while your team leaks chances? It doesn't make sense to me. Connor Halley, he's an elite goalie. Yeah, he faced 4 high-danger chances. Yeah, think about it. Much easier environment. Lots easier. His expected save percentage was 1.55 that Winnipeg game last night. The Oilers was 4.69. Look at Darcy Kemper. He's probably going to finish 2nd in the Vezina. Look at his 3.05 expected goals against. He allowed 5. So statistically, Skinner is better. He made more high-danger saves. And Kemper is going to be a Vezina finalist. It doesn't matter who your goalie is if you're leaking that many chances. Now, you might get a game. Skinner proved it last year. You can have a few games where he'll save you. But if it doesn't happen in game one and your team gives up 14, I think to blame the goalie is just misguided. It's just misguided. The Oilers got to play tighter. And the good news is I expect they will. Historically, they bounce back. You know, LA is going to be fired up, so we'll get into that. We got Matt Larkin, Landon Ferraro joining us in hour number one. AJ Jakubek, we got Struddy. We'll hear from Chris Knobloch in hour number two. We got Speck and DVD. We'll also talk a little NBA playoffs, baby. Pretty excited. I love the playoffs, man. I'm so fired up. Some of those games I was watching. What about Ovi, the ageless wonder, 2 goals and an assist, his first ever overtime goal in the playoffs. Big goal for them. What about Blackwell? Comes in, healthy scratch in game one, comes in for game two, overtime winner for the Stars. And they even up that series. They needed that game. They couldn't go home down 2-0. Although some would say the series never begins until the home team loses. So I don't know if I buy into that, but maybe there's some truth to it. We'll see. So we'll get to all of that and more on a busy Tuesday edition of the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order noodle at noodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order noodle at noodle.ca. So sit on your couch all day and order noodle.ca. Noodle.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
I won't shave till we bring home the cup. And I like to do a shot for every playoff goal.
My jersey's not coming off until we're the city of champs again.
Want a playoff superstition that always wins? Pick up a bag of Wilhauk beef jerky for every game. Because when it comes to the playoffs, where there's a Wilhauk, there's a way.
Make every playoff game a Will Hockey game day with Wilhauk beef jerky. Only available in Leduc. Get yours today because you don't bring home the cup with salad.
There's one. And another. No, not spring flowers yet, but rather huge deals. It's GMC's Truck Month at Wolf GMC Buick. Nab 0% financing up to 72 months on our most popular Sierra half-tons, or massive discounts starting at $8,000. Choose your truck from a great selection, like the fabulous all-new Canyon, right up to the trailer-hauling Sierra HD with the industry-leading Duramax diesel. Spring into Wolf GMC Buick today and snag your truck, and see the savings at wolfgmcbuick.com.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at hughescarwash.com.
Now until April 30th, The Brick is saving you more. Save up to 60% off Canadian-made sofas when you buy the matching love cedar chair. Save up to 40% off select mattresses. And when you use your Flexity card, get equal monthly payments and 0% interest for 60 months on furniture and mattress purchases. Plus, you're automatically entered to win a $5,000 Brick shopping spree. And the more you buy, the more you save, up to an additional $1,200 off select major kitchen appliances. Some exclusions apply. See thebrick.com for details. The Brick, saving you more.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and I love the word April. April would be a good nickname for me because April is the month where we have the most quality used RVs on our lot. That includes camping trailers, fifth wheels, motorhomes, toy haulers, big ones, small ones, and they're all in one convenient location here in Leduc.
Sounds like a lot of used RVs, Rick.
That's right, Bob. We always have hundreds of used RVs for you to see up close and personal. But in April, we have even more because the people who sell their RVs with us know that this is when folks are looking to buy. It's the best time of the year, whether you're buying or selling.
Sounds like you'll be busy in April, Rick.
You know it, Bob. Our team works hard connecting families with the right used RV for their outdoor lifestyle. With one trip to No Bull, you can see more RVs than you'd ever think possible. And it's a great way to spend a day in April.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Watch every Oilers game at OTR with $5.25 Molson Canadian, $5 Pink Whitney shots, and 60-cent wings. Plus, play Oilers Score and Win for your chance to win On the Rocks gift cards. Oilers hockey at OTR. Book your table today. Jasper Ave and 118th.
The best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
25. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley. Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. We got a lot of great questions. Hey, boys, on the Wallman puck over the glass. Can they not listen to the audio for confirmation that it sounds like it hit glass in real time? Shanked one. Wow. I watched the broadcast numerous times. I didn't. If the broadcast would have the audio, yeah, trust me, you'd try to find it. But it's pretty hard in a cavernous arena with 18,000 fans. It's not like it's no one's saying a word and then the guy shoots the puck over the glass. Like, it'd probably be hard to hear that. But yeah, they look at everything. There was nothing conclusive that I saw. And they showed the replay numerous times. Like, remember they tried to show the other angles? You'd see the puck and then it would kind of disappear because the background was all the crowd. Like, what can you do? Sometimes it's like, hey, the call on the ice was this and you live with it. That's just how it is. There was nothing, there's no conspiracy that the league's out against the Oilers. It was clearly that close because the replay did not show anything that was like, well, that obviously hit it. You might think it, and I get why, well, look, the puck changed direction because you want it. At that point, it's like the old psychological bias. You want it to change directions. And ultimately, it didn't impact the game. The Oilers killed off the 5-on-3 with some huge blocks, some huge saves, and kept them alive. So at the end of it, it didn't. I thought, okay, this is game over, right? I get why the Oilers challenged it because Wallman was pretty adamant, and it might have hit. Like, it might have hit. I don't know. But nothing showed for sure that it did. And so that's why it was called the way it was. Let's go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's and, of course, the McValue meal, the McValue menu at McDonald's. Lots of delicious options starting at under $4, like the Cheeseburger Deluxe, the Junior McChicken. Try it now, only at McDonald's. Matt Larkin from Daily Faceoff joins us. And Matt, where you come out? Because Elliot Friedman put it out there, and I'm trying to get confirmation, but I can't. But he said that, you know what, the league has encouraged teams that if a guy's not playing in game 82, he's clearly not playing the first game of the playoffs, maybe the first two games of the playoffs. Because that was actually a rule that we had come up with in our show. He said, hey, if you don't play game 82, you got to sit out the first round. If you think teams are purposely doing it, that's the easiest way around it. Because we saw two guys come back for game 82, and now they're playing, and, Kane and Landeskog have yet to play. What do you make of it?
That's right. I think it's a good deterrent if that's in fact official, what the league is doing. And I don't think it's coincidence that you're seeing the likes of Gabe Landeskog take warm-up and not suit up, of course, right? So I think it's just the groundswell of complaints and opinion, whether it's fans, whether it's other teams. The noise is just too loud now for the league to completely ignore it. And you can't just pin this on the Vegas Golden Knights, which is what people love to do. It's been done a lot longer than that. Tampa Bay did it with Nikita Kucherov. Chicago did it in 2016, I think it was, with Patrick Kane. It's happened time and again in the salary cap era. And I just think you have to find some way to curb the behavior. This is subtle. You're not going to have any team, I think, officially admitting that they're sending their injured guy out for warm-up and holding him. But I think that's what they're going to try to do to maintain the optics. He really needed that extra game.
Yeah. And who knows? Maybe they might. But if Kane plays in game 3 and Landeskog plays in game 3, I would say, it seems like 2 games is the unwritten rule. And maybe it'll be in the new CBA. I don't know. But I would be all for it. I'd have no problem with it. There's got to be something if you believe the teams are doing that on purpose or not. So I don't have an issue if indeed that is the unwritten rule in the NHL or the nudge, nudge, wink, wink encouragement rule. We'll see. But the fact that like Sagan and those guys came back in game 82, it definitely made me go, that's kind of odd. So
I agree. And I still go back to, I think it was Ken Holland's idea, if I remember correctly, that teams should just be cap compliant in the playoffs. Maybe it's a higher number to account for if teams truly don't know if a certain player is going to make it back. Like it's an artificially inflated number for the playoffs or something like that. But to me, that would be the ultimate resolution.
Yeah, it would be a good one. Now, lots going on last night. Let's start with the Dallas Stars and the Colorado Avalanche. You know what? Dallas actually had some pretty good chances in game one. Black would actually be better, and the score might have flattered Colorado a little bit. But Dallas, without some key players, man, that's a pretty gutsy win for them. Blackwell comes out of the press box to be the overtime hero.
It really is. And to me, with the Dallas Stars, I mean, we saw, there's no other way to put it. They were a bad hockey team down the stretch this season for a team that has been so stacked, the envy of most of the league on paper. And it's just so clear how much they miss Miro Heiskanen. It's not a big surprise that they miss him, but I think his value to the team has now been stated even stronger with how bad they've been defensively. So going into the series, admittedly, I felt like the Stars were a bit of a paper tiger against an Avs team that I think could go all the way and win the cup. But now it's a matter of, can you survive until Heiskanen gets back? Now we know he's traveling with them to Denver. Jason Robertson is not. It's going to be longer for him. But if Heiskanen can make it back, let's say for a game 4, this becomes a series because we know his impact is that strong on the lineup. And what a game for Colin Blackwell. Just a gutsy call. It makes every coach look like a genius when you bring someone into the lineup and he gives you that lift. The second effort there on the OT winner was pretty outstanding for a guy that just brought a lot of energy to that game.
The Blues and the Jets. You know what? The Jets defense is very good. Connor Hellebuyck, he's had unbelievable numbers, but as Kevin Woodley has pointed out all season long, he had the best numbers. He also had the best goaltending environment in front of him. And again, last night, he only faced 4 high-danger chances. It's when you're a great goalie, you don't have to face many quality chances. It's a pretty good combination.
Yes, I agree. I wouldn't say the best in the league. I'd say that was Darcy Kemper that had the best defense in the league in front of him. But
Woodley goes by environment of how many, like the best one is the fewest high danger chances and all those stuff that he faces. In Winnipeg, he had Hellebuyck 1, Vasilevsky 2. As far as LA actually gave up a fair amount. Kemper had a harder season, according to Woodley.
Okay, so maybe we're not looking at the same metrics because for me, at least in terms of expected goals, the Kings were the best in the league. But again, we're splitting hairs. I overall agree that the difference with Hellebuyck this season, yes, he had a tremendous year. I think in a lot of people's eyes, Hart Trophy worthy, or at least right there in the discussion with Leon Draisaitl, Nathan McKinnon. But I think what makes the Jets a real contender this year, even compared to, let's say, last year, or other great years that Hellebuyck has had, he's not just this one-man show propping up a team that's mediocre defensively. The Jets, they earned that President's Trophy. They're a true team. And what's really significant about that is that Hellebuyck doesn't have to be perfect. He has to be good, just good. If you get good Connor Hellebuyck, not choking Connor Hellebuyck, you don't need elite every single minute of every single game Connor Hellebuyck. And the Jets have the depth, especially on defense, to really make a run in these playoffs.
Oh, well, when your team defense is that good, it definitely helps out. Montreal and Washington, the Habs, you know what? They storm back in the third period. You're thinking, oh, my goodness, they're going to get it done. But then the ageless wonder, Ovechkin, scores his first ever overtime goal in the playoffs. That was kind of a unique stat considering he's got that many goals. But, Washington, like I look at last night, if a team's going to be the big underdog and pull off an upset, which I think Montreal is, like I have them as a very heavy underdog, last night was the game that they needed.
I don't know if I think it was the game that they needed. I think that might have given them the confidence to understand that they're in this series and they can make a run here. Because personally, I have the Habs winning the series in 7. I saw some shades of the 2010 upset, which was, of course, Washington. And the reason why, Jason, is I see some parallels between the Capitals and the Bruins of 2 years ago. Bruins of 2 years ago, they are going for the wins record. They're so dominant. They really aren't playing other than that record chase. They're not playing meaningful hockey for a couple months down the stretch. They draw a Florida Panthers team that squeaks into the playoffs, is hungry, playing do-or-die games down the stretch. They get upset. I see that parallel. There was an adrenaline dump for the Capitals down the stretch after Obi got goal 895. I don't think they looked very good because they just weren't playing competitive games. The Metro was decided so early, whereas the Habs, of course, fighting tooth and nail right down to the final days of the season. And I think there's a chance we're going to get at least, I don't want to say a sleepy version of the Caps, but a Caps team that's fallible. And we saw it last night. It was a close game. You feel for Lane Hudson, it's not ideal to leave the greatest goal scorer of all time alone in front of the net in overtime. Could have gone differently, but I saw back from Montreal. And I think they're a tough matchup for Washington because the Caps are big and strong, but the Habs are, I think, a team that doesn't get enough credit for being a tough team as well. They have a really deadly third line with Josh Anderson, Brendan Gallagher out there. They're deeper than they get credit for. And even bringing in Ivan Demidov, that's a matchup kind of unknown that's thrown into the series that could tilt things. So I'm not ready to call Montreal down and out, not even close yet.
I saw a lot of people in Montreal, at least online, suggesting that they should play Wi-Fi in game 2 because Washington, Tom Wilson's running around like he does. Do you think that that's necessary? Do you think they do it?
I think if you're going to do it, I think maybe you do it at the Bell Center when Wi-Fi is going to feed off that crowd even more and you'll have more of an intimidation factor. To me, if game 1 was 6-1 and the Habs were embarrassed and really bullied the building, I would say, okay, bring in Arbor Jackeye. But when you were that close, you were literally a goal away. You showed you could hang with the Cats. I don't think you have to overthink this. It was close. So I don't think you go Jackeye for game 2. Maybe game 3, if you're down 2-0, you need a big spark.
Matt Larkin joins us from Daily Faceoff. And Matt, I saw you wrote that, are you blaming Stuart Skinner for the Oilers' loss last night?
Yes, Greg, let's go. If everyone is listening, we were having a little fun sparring on Twitter about it today. I'm not blaming Stuart Skinner. I think you have to zoom out, okay? Obviously, he didn't get great help. It's going to be tough in these playoffs without Matthias Ekholm to clear the net, and the Kings are going to get some 10-bell chances. But there are a couple goals that I don't think were excusable. Look at the bank shot, for example, by Quentin Byfield. The knuckler is tough. He was screened by Warren Fogle. I understand. But to me, it just, if you, let's say, accept the premise that the Kings had too many high-quality chances, well, the game was decided by a goal. And if you had a better quality goaltender, maybe he makes that one save you need when you're facing a barrage of high-danger chances. And I just don't know what it's going to take. How many more of these Stuart Skinner letdowns do you need to understand? He's not the guy. 2 years ago, he was pulled 4 times in 2 rounds. Last year, he was benched partway through the run to the Stanley Cup final. And I've said it time and again, he is the least consistent starting goaltender in the league. He could get a shutout in game 2, and everyone could be back on the bandwagon, and then he might get pulled in game 3. I just think the Oilers did not take the position seriously enough. I know it was a seller's market for goaltending, but I don't think it's an excuse. You have to find a way. Colorado did. They managed to get Alexander Georgiev's contract out to bring in Mackenzie Blackwood. The Oilers could have done it too, and I feel like they've made their bed.
Do you and those are that I've always said Skinner needs to, he's not an elite goalie, and that's fine. He's not paid like an elite goalie. I don't think anybody, he's never projected to be an elite goalie. I don't expect him to be an elite goalie. Because even with elite goalies, as you mentioned, Hellebuck off the start, he got waxed last year. He's actually been waxed 2 years in a row in the playoffs. It's such a tough position. But to me, for Skinner so I don't even think he had a poor game last night, to be honest. I've seen bad games of Stuart Skinner. I don't think last night was a bad game. But when he has a bad game, sometimes it becomes 2 or 3. And that's the thing where if you have a bad night, okay, fine. To me, it's how does Skinner play? Because I don't think he played poorly last night. If the team defense is better, that will help for sure. He actually had, Kemper had, I think, 3.05 expected goals against, and he allowed 5. Like, it wasn't like Kemper was out of this world, and he's had a much better season. But I look at Skinner, and it's like, how does he play the rest of it? Because I think it's fair criticism to say when he's had a bad game, it seems to bleed for another one, and then he'll bounce back like he did after the Vancouver series. His final 15 games was very good. He only allowed 2 goals 11 times and, was solid. Like, I didn't have much of an issue with Skinner after that and probably won them the Dallas series, especially in game 6. But I look at Edmonton, and you mentioned Ekholm's out. I crunched the numbers on all the teams who have played 4 defensemen for like 22 to plus minutes a night. Some teams have actually played 4 guys 25 minutes a night in the playoffs, and they made it all the way to the Stanley Cup final. That's kind of where it's looking like for the Edmonton Oilers. If they're going to go deep, they're going to need those 4 to play a ton.
Yeah, and then as an aside there, I mean, it's been done before. Look at the Pittsburgh Penguins, for example. They lost Chris Letang in their run in 2017. That decor was very depleted, and they just kept their game simple. A lot of stretch passes. They had a lot of speed at forward to bail them out, and it worked. They went all the way. But they had Marc-Andre Fleury and Matt Murray in goal, who at the time I think were very reliable, or at least one of them was at any given time. With Stuart Skinner, it's tough. I agree with you that when he's on, he can be one of the better goalies in the league. He's capable of really good play for extended stretches. The problem is you never know when the bottom's going to fall out again. And I think we would all agree, and just in terms of the body language, he's a goalie that struggles at times with confidence. And my issue is we're still having this conversation. We could have been having this exact conversation on your show a year ago, and he's still in the net. You had a team that went all the way to the final, that had to bench him partway through. You have to wonder if they had a goaltender that was a bit more reliable. Could they have gotten that one extra win and won the Stanley Cup last year? That's how I see it. And I just don't know how many more games or slumps or hot streaks you need to see from Skinner to understand that he's not the guy. That's more what I have issue with. It's not like he's a rookie anymore. A couple of years ago, okay, he gets pulled when he's the Calder Trophy runner-up, rookie season. There's still a lot of runway left. But what do you need to see now? We know who he is at this point, and it's very inconsistent.
Maddie, quickly, Florida-Tampa finally gets going tonight. What's your expectations in that series?
Oh, it's going to be the best series, in my opinion, of the first round. I think it's going to be decided Game 7, maybe a single goal. I think the Florida Panthers, they weren't very hot down the stretch, but people have to remember they were resting all of their top players. Of course, Matthew Tkachuk, but also Barkov and Reinhart and Bennett. They're still a great hockey team. They have a chance to go all the way, but I really like what the Lightning have right now. I think they really surprised me with the way they turned back the clock. They walked away with Steven Stamkos. It was very risky. They bring in Jake Gensel. They have such good defensive forwards. These teams in a lot of ways are really similar, but I think the difference is Andrei Vasilevsky is really back to being his superhuman self. They had the bad year last year coming off back surgery. He was excellent this year, especially down the stretch. So I think he's going to be the difference. Sergei Bobrovsky, of course, is proven now. He's a cup winner, but I think Vasilevsky was better this year. And if it's going to come down to a single goal, a single game, I think Vasilevsky will be the difference. So I have the Lightning in 7.
Lightning in 7. All right, Maddie, have yourself a great day and enjoy the games tonight.
Always a pleasure, buddy.
There you go. That's Matt Larkin from Daily Faceoff 243. Quick break. Landon Ferraro will join us. We'll dive into the Oilers. Hey, there's lots that you didn't like, but then there was lots you liked at the end if you stayed up. Hopefully you didn't go to bed after the second period. The late games, it's enticing. I can see why you're like, geez, this one's over, but you would have missed all the fireworks of the third period. So is it 22 minutes of positive versus 38 minutes of negative? Which one are you more excited about? Which one are you more concerned about? We'll discuss it next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Edmonton's premium live music and party venue is On the Rocks. Check out Bingo Tunes on Monday. Perform on the best stage in town with karaoke on Wednesdays. Learn how to salsa with Salsa Rocks on Thursdays. And every weekend, OTR goes live.
With your favorite bands on the OTR stage and DJ Kenny K.
For everything that's going on at On the Rocks, give us a follow.
Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
At On the Rocks, EDM.
Eat well, party hard.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks. Open every day till 2 a.m.
Mr. Rooter hits the lick. So I tell the guy it's leaking because you have a hole in one.
Hey, Mr. Rooter, you have a better chance of hitting the green with a crescent wrench, you bum.
Oh, boy. It's my rival, Mr. Plunger.
You swing a club like you plumb. Lousy.
Lousy, eh? Hey, Mr. Plunger, there's a clog down there that even you could fix.
For a plumber you can trust, call Mr. Rooter.
DJ Booster coming at you live with warmer weather, longer days, and dropping 2 new booster mixes for April from Booster Juice. Pucker up, party people! The Sexy Berry Booster Mixer features raspberry and lemon in perfect harmony. Then turn it all the way up with Mango Mango Booster Mixer with delicious mango and pineapple notes.
Mix it up with the new Booster Mixers at Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999. Download the Booster Rewards app and order one today.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at Cantork.com.
You know how you
Warmer weather. We're all excited and geared up for this very busy time of year. The groundbreaking season is upon us, and GS Construction is ready to roll with all sorts of new projects. Projects that help the community and make the place we live in better. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
At Fountain Tire, our focus is taking care of your vehicle. Your focus? Saving up to 25% off select tires. Plus, getting up to a $120 mail-in rebate on a set of 4 select tires until April 26th. So we both win. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
What we done with innocent?
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantork.com.
Hat-tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Seven. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely, lovely Tuesday. Oh man, you're fired up, aren't you? As you should be. It's the best time of year, good or bad for fans. That game last night, you might have been ready to fall asleep on the couch because the Oilers were doing so little for 38 minutes, and then all of a sudden they kind of woke up. Took Leon Draisaitl to say a few choice words to his teammates on the bench, it seemed. Because after that, did you know they came out in the next shift, they had 5 hits in 42 seconds. And then the next shift, they scored. And obviously, we saw the third period. They had some life. So we'll see, can they continue that? Let's get to the oil report now, brought to you by Volvo Cars. Edmonton, you can lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $3,500. Great vehicles, better service. Volvo Cars, Edmonton.com. As we welcome to the show, he is our pre and post game host, former NHLer here on Sports 1440. Landon Ferraro joins us, and Landon, it was quite the game last night because through the first almost 2 periods, but the first 38 minutes of that game, the Oilers were terrible as a team.
Yeah, I said it last night, but I'll say it again. It was really tough not to switch over to the Dallas game. You know, like you got both of them going on. You're like, this one is like the Oiler game. It started, and you're like, they're not even close to into this right now. And you know, I didn't expect them to come out extremely fast. They just have too many players that are coming back into the lineup, guys that are coming back from injury. Like, you know, I just didn't see a fast start, but I didn't see 10 shots for the first 2 periods happening.
Yeah, well, and 8 to the first 38 minutes, right? And none of them, I even checked it out. Like they had 2 shots within 29 feet. Like you're not even testing the goalie at that point, right? Like you had, and one of them was the Podkolzin deflection, which was nice, but Kemper hit him right in the chest. So they really didn't they weren't close to scoring until McDavid found Draisaitl late in that period. Looking at the fact that they gave up 14 high danger chances. Now, 3 of them came on the 5-on-3 because a lot of people are saying, oh, it's because the 5-on-3. Now, one of them was the Fiala goal. And well, it might only mean 2 actually in the 5-on-3 because the shot that Darnell Nurse blocks doesn't consider a high danger chance because it's blocked. And obviously there's no chance of scoring when it goes in at that point. So I think there was only 2. So that's still 12 in the game. And they gifted a few goals again, which obviously isn't ideal. Goals 3 and 4 for sure. What did you make of kind of like the overall team defense?
Well, I mean, I think the first thing to talk about is the speed. And, it's not often, especially you think back to last year's playoffs and the way that the Oilers can, really shut it down defensively, but their speed when they cause that turnover or, the play dies in the defensive zone and they take off and go up the ice, like it felt like that completely flipped last night. And the Kings were the ones in the driver's seat, and Oilers were really trying to kind of keep up. And, I think obviously as the game got into, the end of the second there, into the third, they got moving, but for the defense, they're all trying, they're obviously all trying their best to try and cover up and cover minutes that with Ekholm out. They're like, that's, as the series goes on, like that with Ekholm out, that's just going to kind of amplify even more, but they still have good enough players to hold it all together. They really just need to get their feet moving. And then on top of that, the forwards need to come back and help more. Like the first two periods, the amount of swinging in the D zone, no stopping and starting, which I think it was Kempy's goal that ends up, there's four guys below the goal line. Like it's just goals that happen that kind of seem more preseason than postseason, really.
Yes. It was not an ideal game for the Oilers. Who knows? Maybe that has something to do with all the guys being healthy scratched or not healthy scratched, sitting out with injuries. We'll see. Would you change goalies for game two?
I would right now, simply because Pickard, he had gone on a decent stretch of really good hockey. And like, I understand that Skinner can have better games. And, I still, I was listening, before I pop on there, and, I agree with you. Like, I don't think that was a bad Stuart Skinner game, but at the same time, you guys are discussing, and like, there is another save in there somewhere, probably. But at the same point, if the guys play better in front, he can open up a little more. But I still think you switch. I think you let him go for it, and then you make that decision when you're going back to Edmonton, regardless of win or lose, if you go back to Skinner.
Okay. Yeah, it'll be fascinating to me to see what they do. Like Calvin Pickard in that second last game of the season. Now, granted, the Oilers had some guys out of the lineup. He allows 5 goals on 36 shots. And, so that, the Oilers obviously now aren't loving the fact they've given up 11 goals. I know that the lineups are different, but 11 goals is 11 goals. And, the team's got to be better. It would be hard to be worse because that's the most high danger chances they've given. They didn't give up. The most they gave up last year was 11 in any game, and that was game 6 against Dallas. And Skinner stood on his head to win that game. So a goalie can do it, yeah. But I think like Hellebuck faced 4 high danger chances last night. Kemper faced 9. Skinner faces 14. And I don't think anybody thinks Skinner's as good of a goalie as Kemper or Hellebuck. But he's facing, 40% more than Kemper and like 3.5 times more than Hellebuck. Like I don't care. There's no chance for success if you're giving up that many good chances.
Yeah, and I mean the way that Edmonton has been constructed and the way that they are comfortable with what they have in net is with their lineup in front of them playing the way that they can and that they're designed to play. And when you've had this many players out, now they're jumping back in, but just because the players are back in doesn't mean everything instantly clicks back into place. I mean, this is another topic, but just look at the power play. Like, it's one of the best power plays the NHL's ever seen, and yet last night it's tough to get going. But how can you expect anything else without players in the lineup? And it doesn't matter that they've played this long together. Like, their timing's still a little off. Like, they still need to get everything kind of dialed in a little bit more. But on the defensive side, like, without that help that they normally do have, and the way that they came out yesterday, now you're asking Stuart Skinner to play way above his weight class, and that's not a knock against him, but
no,
at the same time, it is what it is.
Well, what about Evan Bouchard? People, I got 3 points. Okay, some secondary assists on great plays by McDavid that he didn't do much on. He plays a ton, but he had 2 direct plays that led right to the 3rd and 4th goals. And actually, I think the 3rd goal, when he's coming in the left corner, he's on his forehand. Landon, and he goes against the grain, soft backhand up the boards. That play bothered me more than just you just skate it or you ring it around the boards because you know that the F2 or F3 is not over there for LA. The fourth goalie's behind the net. He sees McDavid and he's like, okay, I'm going to give it to McDavid. Now he missed him, but at least I can see what he's trying to do there. The third goal bothered me more, even though it wasn't right in the slot like Danault. What did you make of the two giveaways?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, right? Like I said in the pregame, as Walks asked me as we were talking about Bouchard, like, what do they need to see out of him right now? And I think now more than ever is, he needs to bring his offensive side, and like he can make plays that other defensemen in their lineup can make, and he is extremely gifted, but especially with Ekholm out now, like when. He's always been prone to turnovers and some bad decision making. But again, with Ekholm out, like for him right now, his worst has to be net zero. Like he can't create opportunity for the other team because, yeah, like you said, he ends up with 3 assists, but the game's already not out of reach because they get back. But you shouldn't be in that position anyway, and a lot of it is just. Almost, I would put it to more just, intensity in the moment. Like the one where it ends up with the 4 guys behind the net on Kempe's goal, you make the first wrong read. Now you're kind of standing just below the goal line. And I believe it's Nurse on the far side of the net that's going to go towards that Kings player. If he just steps back in front of the net, well, now we can cut off the far side of the net. Kempe can't make his move around Skinner. But instead he tries to, he kind of just keeps wandering behind the net and ends up tripping and he ends up laying flat on his stomach. So again, with him, it's just about not compounding, poor choices or, a tough puck bounce and just making the next correct read to kind of patch up your own mistakes right now.
Landon Ferraro joined us, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. So let's say Kane is ready to go for game 2, or if you believe in the theory that if he's allowed to play in game 2 from the NHL, who would you take out of the lineup?
A good question. I mean, off the top of my head, you're starting to, poke around a little bit, but I mean, you want Frederick to start moving and getting in as well, but with where he's at, he plays a minute in the third period there. Like, is that because he needs a bit of time or he's just not up to snuff yet? You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's an option, but I mean, I think the quicker one would be, and I mean, it's tough, but, I'd take Jeff Skinner right now. I think that he's obviously played a lot better hockey as of late, but at the same point, to add a bit more physical style into the lineup, the top 2 lines, they can produce, but you need the bottom, as much as for them to chip in, but to bring that energy, to bring that type of bite that Evander Kane can bring to a lineup.
So you take out Skinner?
I honestly, like with where I'm at, yeah, like I think that would be a guy that I would pop out of the lineup on that because, you could talk about someone off the fourth, but then you're getting into more penalty killers and guys that are doing, do those jobs. So again, to me, Skinner is the extra piece. And, I felt like this when they signed him, like he's obviously a very skilled player and can provide some offense, but at the same time, like you have your pieces in the top 6, like you need some more energy. You need some more physicality in the bottom.
Yeah, see, I think it might be Podkolzin. He Frederick didn't play. Well, the Oilers really, in the last 10 minutes of the game, they went down to like 7 or 8 forwards. Podkolzin didn't play much. Frederick didn't play. Connor Brown didn't play. Janmark, I think, had 1 extra shift due to a penalty kill. But they really kind of shortened the bench in that moment. And I look at Podkolzin, he's not in your top penalty killers. And he's not bringing you any offense. So I could see, I think it's probably him or Skinner. But I could see it being one of those 2 guys. They're very different. They're not taking Janmark or Brown out because they're in their top 4 penalty killers. They're not taking Corey Perry out because he scores. So they're not taking any of the centers out, not taking Hyman out. So that kind of leaves Podkolzin or Skinner. So I can see an argument either one, but that's probably the 2 guys.
And see, like, and I do agree with you with But in my, how I see it, if Skinner comes out, Podkolzin can stay where he is, let Kane get get a period under his belt, but then he can move up. Podkolzin slides down onto the third line, and all of a sudden now he's in a spot that he can just, a bit more of just go be really physical and let the game kind of come to you that way.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see. John Klingberg, suppose he was healthy enough to play game one. They played Josh Brown 4.5 minutes. He did have a good block shot in the 5-on-3. Some people thought he stepped up too high on the first power play goal, and I think there's an argument there, although sometimes I wonder if that's with their coach, because I see the Oilers defenseman moving up on that play anyway. Do you think he was coached to that, or is that just a wrong read by Brown?
I think it's a bit of both. They do like to move up a bit higher. I think he just got pulled a bit too far out. But I think he had just over 2 minutes on the PK.
Yeah.
I think they can find a bit more ice for him. Like, listen to Knobloch. I think it was today, him talking about Brown and Klingberg, and he's like, it would have been nice, obviously to have Klingberg's, offensive style, as we're trying to chase this game. But, to me, again, I think the bigger, more stay-at-home defenseman is the way to go right now. There's still a lot of uncertainty in the lineup, and to throw another guy that, he doesn't have the best defensive instincts at all times, like, I think Brown, with his work on the PK, is still kind of the better option there.
Yeah. Okay. So you think they might stick with Brown? Their top 4D are going to have to play a lot here, Landon. So it's going to be it'll be really interesting to see. And that other team, I outlined it. There's lots of teams. Vancouver did it. The Flyers did it. The Bruins, the Predators, the Canadians in 20, and Ben Sherratt led the Canadians a nice time that year. The Blackhawks did it a few times. So since 2010, we've seen teams make the Cup final 7 of those 14 years, where 4 of their defensemen were playing 22 plus minutes a night. So 22 and a half, actually. So, teams have done it. And then the Oilers, Brett Kulak said he likes it. He feels he's more in the game. So we'll see.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, as players have just gotten more and more in shape and understanding their bodies, they can handle a lot more. And as Knobloch saying, and again, when we're not playing back-to-backs, you can always get your rest. It's that time of year, and there's no better feeling than just playing nonstop and just keep hopping over the boards. You feel like you're fully involved in the game, and you're not, you don't have really any time to overthink anything. You just keep going.
Yeah. Awesome, man. We appreciate it. Thanks so much for your time, and we'll be listening tomorrow on the pre- and post-game show. All
right. Have a good one. Thanks.
There you go. That's on Landon Ferraro's pre- and post-game show here in Sports 1440. Coming up, we got lots more on the Oilers. A big firing today in the National Hockey League. Connor Halley will update on that. And more as we get to a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. They are hiring. Looking for HVAC installers and plumbers. You want a competitive wage for a great company, RSP matching, hiring bonus, tuition reimbursement. Go to legacyheating.ca. Apply today. You're listening to Jason.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Changes on the island as Lou Lamoriello will not return as general manager of the New York Islanders. The team announced today that they will not renew his contract. They made the playoffs in 4 of his 6 seasons at the helm, but finished on the outside looking in this past season, ending the season with 82 points, 9 behind the Montreal Canadiens for the last wild card spot. On the ice tonight, it all gets going at 4. Hurricanes Devils meeting in Carolina. Carolina leading 1-0. The Maple Leafs will try to take a 2-0 series lead over the Sens at 5:30. At 6:30, it's game 1 between the Lightning and the Panthers, and at 9 o'clock, the Minnesota Wild trying to even out their series with the Golden Knights in Sin City. In the association, 3 games tonight. You got the Bucks and Pacers, Thunder, Grizz, and Lakers, Timberwolves, Indiana, OKC, and Minnesota leading those series 1-0. Major League Baseball tonight. You do have the Blue Jays in Houston taking on the Astros. That gets going just after 6 o'clock. Elsewhere, Cubbies hosting the Dodgers, Rays in the desert. You got the Giants and the Brewers and the Rangers taking on the Athletics from Sacramento. In the WHL, we've got Game 7, Winterhawks Silvertips meeting in Everett. The Chiefs host the Royals, leading 3-2. Both those games be going just after 8 o'clock. In the AJ League finally, it got GP hosting Calgary. The Canucks lead that series 2-0. Puck drop at 7. And in the BCHL, Crusaders hosting the Brooks Bandits out at Truett Park Arena. Bandits leading that series 2-0. Puck drop at 7 o'clock. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we will be joined by AJ Jackiebuck from TSN Ottawa and hear comments from members of the Edmonton Oilers. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. With state-of-the-art motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love.
Afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason
Gregor
Gregor Show on Sports 1440 Oilers Nation. To the Jason Gregor Show on Sports giveaways.
With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants.
Sports 1440 Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. We got a lot of great questions. Hey, boys, on the wall.
Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan.
Connor Halley, Sports 1440, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely.
And join us
hope
for the
you are happy.
Mitsubishi pregame show before each Edmonton playoff game. Cross Mitsubishi on 34th Ave and 96th Street. Well, get ready for a silly hockey fan. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
The Alzheimer's Face-Off presented by Christensen Communities Limited hits the ice this Friday to Sunday. Don't miss the Champions Luncheon on Friday, April 25th at the Edmonton Convention Center. Tables are on sale now. This year's event is hosted by accomplished sports journalist and author Scott Morrison and features the legendary locker room tales of Mike Keenan. Iron Mike grew from a highly respected NHL player to one of the most passionate coaches in hockey history. For more information or to purchase your Champions Luncheon table, visit alzheimersfaceoff.ca.
McDonald's has entered a Minecraft movie universe, and Grimace, Birdie, and Hamburglar just spawned as new collectibles in the overworld. Now, for a limited time, you can get one of 6 McDonald's collectibles when you order a Minecraft movie meal with your choice of a Big Mac or a 10-piece chicken McNuggets with spicy nether flame sauce. A Minecraft movie meal, available now at your local McDonald's. See it in theaters April 4th. Meal available for a limited time while supplies last at participating Canadian restaurants.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan. For all your residential water needs, your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles, Culligan.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
How you doing? Welcome back. Tuesday afternoon. Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440. Sports1440.ca, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. As always, the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the game tonight. $55 million up for grabs In Lotto Max, of course, you can get in the game. Use the promo code Gregor100. Get a free play when you sign up at the casino at playalberta.ca. Edmonton Oilers, John Klingberg, possibility for tomorrow night. According to head coach Chris Knobloch, said Evander Kane, also a possibility. Now, keep in mind that yesterday, even after the morning skate, Colorado's head coach said, Gabriel Landeskog, possibility, didn't go. What's leading to a lot of speculation because there was a few players who came in and played in game 82 after sitting out for much of the season, and now they're playing in the playoffs. Landeskog didn't play in the first 2 games. Kane didn't play in game 1. If Kane is out for game 2, then you wonder, did the league suddenly put in an unwritten rule that, hey, if you miss and you're on LTIR, then you're sitting out for minimum 2 games, maybe 3. We'll see. But if Landeskog plays in game 3 and Kane plays in game 3, I think you can make the distinction that it's a possibility. Now, or maybe they're just injured. We'll see. But eventually that'll come out. The fact that it's, Friedman mentioned it makes me think, hey, and it would make sense. We said it on our show. Like, there's easy ways to go around it. If you think a team is doing it purposely and you think that, because I get it, we never discount that the player was hurt originally. That's a non-discussion. Well, some people think they're faking, but of course I don't fake. But it's about, when are they ready? Are they ready on April 10th if the playoffs start on April 15th? But if it makes sense financially not to play him on April 12th, why would you? There's nothing wrong with it. Makes perfect sense. Quote, never rush the player back. So I get it. However, if the league starts feeling, hey, wait a sec, this has happened too much. Well, now here's the rule. Guy can be hurt. No one's questioning his hurt. They're questioning his return date. And if he's not ready in game 82, then he can't be ready in game 1 of the playoffs. Like, I think just from a common sense, rational point, you see why someone would accuse you of being a cap circumvention. So that's the way around it. Maybe it's only 2 games, but in a 7-game series, if you think that player's that important and he misses 2 games, well, that might be the series. Maybe you're down 2. Maybe you only lose 1 of the games, but then you end up losing in 7. Maybe that guy would have made a difference. We'll never know. But I like it if indeed that's the case. So we'll see. Another thing. Hey, Gregor, you mentioned that that was Ovi's first overtime goal. Did you see the stat that Mark Messier's never scored an overtime winner? Blew my mind. Well, it's not just Messier. Yeah, I'll give you a list of players. So just like overtime goal, and I only went with guys who have 100 career NHL playoff points. So some pretty big scores, guys who have played a lot of games. So here's a list of players who have 1 overtime goal in the playoffs. Ovechkin, Crosby, Steve Yzerman, Brian Trottier, Phil Esposito, Bobby Hull. Some really good scores. Now, here's a list of guys who have 0 overtime winners thus far. Mark Messier, Gordie Howe, Mario Lemieux, Denny Savard, Steven Stamkos, and Leon Draisaitl. So, like, those are some really good goal scorers. Guys like that have had great playoff numbers, but oddly enough, have never scored a power play goal. Or sorry, an overtime goal in the postseason. So it's kind of unique. So Ovi now has 1, and he joins his buddy Sidney Crosby. They kind of go step by step in a lot of different stats, right? What are they, 10th and 11th, I think, and all-time points in the NHL. Both going to finish. Obviously, Crosby more assists, Ovechkin more goals, but it's pretty unique when you look at it. Overtime goals, man, they are rare. They're very rare. Hey guys, I thought we exposed Kemper with that push. Low trap can be beat with speed and grit. Well, it's funny. What did Kevin Woodley? If you missed it yesterday, Cons, do you have that answer? We might want to replay it from yesterday's show, and we'll get it. Because we asked him, where are the areas that Darcy Kemper, because every goalie's susceptible. Every goalie has a weakness. Even Kemper, who's probably going to be a Vezina finalist. Well, actually, I'd be shocked if he wasn't a Vezina finalist. But You know what? You looked at what the Oilers were doing last night, and what did he talk about before the game even started on our show? And he said the plays off the goal line, right? Because he goes with his paddle down, and then he's got to reach. And Corey Perry, Zach Hyman, those exact plays. So there are, like, advanced scouting nowadays gets pretty technical. And you tell the players, hey, here's a certain play you want to try. Look at. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to work every time. Of course not. But everybody has it. So that's one game. Everybody's going to look at it, right? I'm sure LA was like, let's get traffic in front, right? Chances off the rush, sure. Now, they didn't score a lot off the rush last night. I guess the game-winning goal is off the rush, sure. But it's also a screen. The screen is what made, and then Deneau completely flubs that puck. Like, if Deneau shoots it, usually, you know how you think he's going to shoot it? Might hit Skinner. But, you know, to flub it the way he did, like, hey, that's unlucky. It's lucky, but I think it's fair. That, you know, the Oilers have found something, and that, hey, LA's had good goaltending numbers 3 years in a row, technically 4 now, and Edmonton's found a way to exploit them every year in the playoffs. So they'll have to continue to do it. Obviously, they're going to want to limit their own high danger chances against. You know, Skinner maybe makes another big save here or there, sure. But the biggest one for me, for the Oilers defensively, is you're going to have to cut down on the big chances that you have allowed. Now, are they going to have a 5-on-3? Again, there was only 2 high danger chances. We should point that out. So I know it's easy to say, well, it's 5-on-3, but there was a 5-on-3 for a grand total of 2 minutes and 5 seconds, right? Because the first one they scored right off the faceoff. Now, that's another question I have. If you look at things the Oilers are missing, oh my God, are they missing a right shot center? Although Nugent Hopkins against Kopitar on a 5-on-3, why? There was 4 faceoffs, and Kopitar won all 4 of them cleanly. Now, the other 3 didn't result in a goal because Josh Brown made a big block, Nurse made 2 big blocks, Skinner made 3 big saves. But if they're like, I look at Adam Henrique, even Leon Draisaitl, I get you can't play him all the time, but if you can get him out there to win the faceoff, ice it, then you can get him off. But because Nugent Hopkins on that side, just I don't love it. Right now, we might not see another 5-on-3 the rest of this series, so maybe it's a moot point. But I did notice that last night, and I was I look at like little plays that big time. Like, what if it's a late in a game, right? So if you're not doing it late in a game, why are you doing it on a 5-on-3? That's just my question. And when they come back to town, I would ask them that question. Just let me know what's the rationale. Is it because you're worried? Well, if we lose the draw, I want to have Nugent Hopkins out there because maybe he makes better reads. Okay. But what if you win it? And does he make significantly better reads? Because the odds of him winning that faceoff against Kopitar are much lower than Henrique or Draisaitl. Now, when it's a 5-on-3, you got to win it pretty clean to probably win possession of the faceoff, right? I understand that because they're going to have 2 extra guys. So I get it. It's not great. And so maybe that's what they're going on. They're saying, hey, the odds of us winning it, and maybe they've tracked some numbers, 5-on-3 to win the faceoff cleanly where you get possession. What are the odds of that? I don't know. Be a good question. I'd have to look at it, but that definitely stood out to me because when you look at it and you see that it's an issue. Hey, guys, the Oilers play all around was bad. Same story we heard a few years ago. The D plays like they can't make any mistakes because their goalie isn't good enough. Thus, they grip the stick too hard, make mistakes, and Skinner can't make the big save. You know what, our goalie will make the big saves. You play looser and don't make as many mistakes. That's why it's a team game. You need everyone firing on all cylinders, being able to rely on each other. Jeremy from Okotoks. Well, so here's the theory about that. The last 15 games of the playoffs last year, because if you want to go to last year, then I guess we'll go to the most recent. So the last 15 games of last year's playoffs, Stuart Skinner, in 11 of 15 games, had a 2.14 goals against and a .916 save percentage, and won them 2 games. Right? Had one of the best playoff performances in Game 6 against Dallas, when Dallas had 11 high danger chances and expected goals of 4, and the Oilers won 2-1 despite getting outshot 34-10. So I don't I know we like to say, oh, the players don't trust a guy. And now I have people texting me, oh, yeah, did you see McDavid's face? I'm like, you sound like the people who said McDavid was upset when the Oilers got the gold card in 2015. Did you think he was upset then? Honestly, did you? Or did you think it was a ridiculous assertion for someone to make? Because if you did, then you can't make the same one now. Oh, I looked at their face. Do you think maybe he's disappointed because they scored? Not because of how they scored, just because they scored. And anybody who watches that play, Devin, I've talked to so many NHL people, and none of them are blaming the goalie on the 6th goal. None. Only the frustrated fan is, and that's okay. You're allowed to, but just remember and understand that all the goalie analysts aren't. They're not blaming the goalie on that one. Now, if you wanted to make it another save earlier in the game, no problem. I can live with that. I think at some point, yeah, you'd like a big, maybe he gets a toe on the Danault first goal. Sure, maybe. Because sometimes you do need to make a big save off a slot shot. And he made some on the 5-on-3. I'll give him that. Right? Ideally, you want to have fewer than 6 goals, no question. But you can't just blame the goalie and then make the excuse that, well, they don't trust the goalie, so that's why they're playing terrible. That's lame. Like, what? What are we talking about here? Oh, they don't trust the goalie, so they're just going to lose. Like, that's not in their mindset at all. And I don't buy that. Right? I know people say, oh, they love Picker and they play way better against him. And or is it possible that his quality of competition wasn't as good, so it's easier to play better defensively? Now, maybe there's something to it. Maybe they're going to go with Picker tomorrow. I would be surprised if they did. Because I look at those goals and I don't see any glaring, we've seen Stuart Skinner let in a bad goal. I think we've all seen it. Usually it kind of goes right on the side there, doesn't squeeze the arm. That's an area that he's pretty susceptible for. I didn't really see any of those last night. And to me, if you blame the goalie for last night's game, when you give up the most high danger chances of any team in the playoffs this year, the most high danger chances you've done in any game all of last year's playoffs, and you only blame the goalie, I'm not sold that's a great strategy. So that's why I don't think they're going to change the goalie. I could be wrong, but that's why I don't think it. Cons, what would you do?
Oh, it's a good question, because I mean, I would love for Stuart Skinner to make one of those saves, right? Like, one would be great, but the play in front of him was just so bad. Like, even on the game-winning goal, shot from the slot, it flutters. It makes it tough. Stuart Skinner talked about it. We will probably get to that in the next segment. A tough one. I don't know. I mean, and I said it before, I did have a little bit more confidence in Calvin Pickard at times throughout the regular season going into it. So I wouldn't be opposed to it, to be totally honest with you. If they were to go say, you know what, we're going to give Pickard a shot, yeah, let's go for it. We've seen Stuart Skinner have some good bounce back games in the past, and he's kept his team in those games. So I think I'm pretty much on the side of whatever they decide to go with. It's going to need to be improved play in front of him as well from all 5.
Well, yeah, but that's really sitting on the fence. But B, regardless of who the goalie is, they got to play better.
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean the decision what if you play better and then the goalie you pick lets in a weak goal? Well, that doesn't, so it's going to come down to who. I still think they'll go with Skinner. And to me, I would go with Skinner because I don't think Skinner was in the top few reasons of why you lost the game last night. That's why I wouldn't do it. But hey, maybe the coach sees it differently. But when I talked to Woodley and he sent his analysis of all the shots and everything like that, and they gave up that many, I can't see how you can pin that on your goal. Like, the Kings aren't changing their goalie. And he actually had a 3.05 expected and allowed 5. Skinner had a 4.69 and allowed 6. So theoretically that's better.
Longer leash with Kemper though, right?
Sure. But I think LA is going to tell you we don't want to give up that many high quality chances either.
Yeah.
Right? Both coaches are going to look and say, hey, what are we doing here? Right? Like, 14 high danger. To put that into perspective, people, Winnipeg gave up 4 with Hellebuck. And everyone's like, oh my God, he's a great goalie. Now, do you think it's an easier position to play when you're facing 4 high danger chances rather than 14? I think most sane people know the answer. And Woodley outlined that. It was the one reason, why I didn't vote Hellebuck to win the Hart, when he said he had the best goaltending environment. Now, he's a really good goalie, don't get me wrong. Plus, he missed a quarter of the season. So I wouldn't do it. But, it doesn't take away anything from Hellebuck. It just illustrates that the goalie environment does matter. Now, the great goalie, Hellebuck's going to make some more saves than Skinner makes. I'm not comparing Skinner to Hellebuck. He makes what? 23%, like 70 some percent less money than Hellebuck. So he's not paid to be elite. No one's ever considered him elite. I don't argue with that. I don't think Stuart Skinner for last night's game was the reason they lost. I think there's much bigger reasons. We'll come back. We'll hear from Knobloch, and we'll also hear from Woodley on the scouting report on the goaltender Kemper and how a lot of it seemed to come to fruition. So have the Oilers found something, and can they continue it? We'll find out.
Hey, Alberta, the all-new Play Alberta app is here. Casino, sports betting, lottery, all in one app, right on your phone. And because it's Play Alberta, you know it's safe, secure, and reliable. Download it now and play over 500 online casino games, live dealer tables, and unique games you'll love. Plus, bet on sports from anywhere in the province. You in? Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and deposit using promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on the house. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus.
DJ Booster coming at you live with warmer weather, longer days, and dropping 2 new booster mixes for April from Booster Juice. Pucker up, party people! The Sexy Berry Booster Mixer features raspberry and lemon in perfect harmony. Then turn it all the way up with Mango Maker Booster Mixer with delicious mango and pineapple notes.
Mix it up with the new Booster Mixers at Booster Juice. Canadian-born, blending since 1999. Download the Booster Rewards app and order one today.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Edmonton's premium live music and party venue is On the Rocks. Check out Bingo Tunes on Monday. Perform on the best stage in town with karaoke on Wednesdays. Learn how to salsa with Salsa Rocks on Thursdays. And every weekend, OTR goes live.
With your favorite bands on the OTR stage and DJ Kenny K.
For everything that's going on at On the Rocks, give us a follow.
Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
At On the Rocks, EDM.
Eat well, party hard.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks. Open every day till 2 a.m. Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Spring, where everything is coming up roses, except for GS Construction. We're heading underground, and we couldn't be happier. Spring is always a busy time of year for everyone trying to get out there and do some work. Well, GS Construction agrees, and we also agree that we just might need some help. So if you're looking to work and join a group where safety, teamwork, and continuous improvement have been at our core since 1974, send us a resume. Come work with us this spring. Visit gsconstruction.ca today.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at hughescarwash.com.
Here at Cooperators, we can help you invest in a way that's right for you. Like the starting to invest later has to be better than never plan. Talk to us today about how we can turn the investing goals you've made into investing realities.
Looking for a local Cooperators representative? Give Camrose Insurance Financial Solutions a call at 780-672-9251 and see the difference a personalized plan makes. Cooperators, investing in your future together.
Hey there, Alberta. Right now, tariffs threaten the livelihood of hardworking Alberta farmers, ranchers, processors, entrepreneurs, and their families. It's time to let them know we have their back. Now more than ever, we need to show our support by eating, drinking, and buying local whenever we can. Because when the going gets tough, Albertans stick together and stand strong. Learn more at alberta.ca/buy local. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. The team in Old Strathcona has special training dedicated to reducing the impact of cancer care before, during, and after your diagnosis. From lymphedema to the management of fatigue and side effects of chemotherapy and radiation, they can help. Learn more at leadingedgephysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Do we have any of Knobloch? Do we have any of Knobloch? 331, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. It's the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Let's go in the room now, brought to you by Action Electrical. Building owners can earn a refundable federal tax rebate of up to 30% of a solar project's capital cost. Basically, if it's a $500K project, you get a tax rebate of $150K. Learn more through actionelectrical.net to make sure you get all the savings for your business. Let's go in the room. Let's hear from Chris Knobloch. So he had time to sleep on it. He watched the video again. What are the positives he took from last night?
Yeah, absolutely. Last year against LA, we were able to win the first game, but often in the past, as you mentioned, it hasn't been the case. We knew that it was going to be a difficult task. LA's playing really well, especially at home, but it was nice to see that we were able to break through and score some goals late in the game, something that we haven't done very much of. But, I think there's some areas that we thought we could be better. Staying in the penalty box from one, they scored 2 power play goals. There's the difference in the game. But there's other things that we need to get better at to give ourselves an opportunity.
Well, yeah, there's a few areas they need to be better at, and that's pretty obvious. Now, what about lineup changes? Kane and Klingberg, how close are they?
Yeah, going in the week before, we expected almost everybody being available for the first round, and if not for game one, Vander is very close. Has not been cleared by the doctors yet, but like I said, we're going to see him at some point during this series, and or I assume we are. But to say that he's going to play in game 2 right now is a little premature, so we'll just wait and see when he's coming in.
Yeah, so. We'll see. Now, he did go a little more specific on Klingberg, and what's the update for him?
Klingberg is very close also, and that's another option that we have to add a guy like that. Last night, we're chasing the game. Obviously, it would have been nice to have to add a little more offensive flair. But, I think we're looking at what's best for our group, and but Klingberg is a very good possibility.
So very good possibility for Klingberg. So it seems like that's maybe more likely than Evander Kane now that you listen to Knobloch. So obviously Klingberg would come in for Josh Brown, I would assume. Anyway, the Kings clog up the neutral zone because the Oilers, let's be honest, so the first 2 periods, they generated virtually nothing. They had 8 shots on goal, only 2 of them from within 29 feet. It was not, they didn't generate much. They couldn't get a lot of momentum, couldn't get much speed to the neutral zone. So what do you see from the Kings in the neutral zone? How are they going to counter that?
Well, any team, if they've got pieces in place, it's going to be difficult to get through the neutral zone. There's 5 guys through the neutral zone from the red line to the top of the circles, a small area. So to be able to pick through that, and Connor and Leon did it several times last night, but other than those 2, it makes it a little more difficult. And I think it's important to be able to have a plan on how you're going to recover pucks, because it's very, very difficult to skate through it with control. So we just have to review what we need to do to recover more pucks.
What did the head coach think of Skinner's play and the team's defensive play and needing a reset in game 2?
Yeah, no, it's always a reset. Whether it's after a win or after a loss, you always have to reset, because after a win, you can be too high, and obviously the loss, especially after last night, the way it happened, we were so close, and then lose late in the game the way it was. We need to turn it aside. So it doesn't matter if we lose 5-0 or lose by 1. It's a loss, and we have to. The focus is winning the next game. So. This team has had a lot of adversity. They played a lot of playoff games. They know how to handle it and how to look forward to the next game. So I'm not worried about our group.
It is accurate on that. The Oilers have shown an ability, for the most part, to be able to bounce back after. And I think it's fair to say that's not an effort. They didn't like offensively. Yeah, you like the third period. You can't like the first 38 minutes. You generated nothing. Defensively, you gave up way too much. Goaltending, you want another save here or there. Sure. To me, it's all facets. There's not one. Look at their power play. Their power play was junk last night. The Kings power play was great. Like, if we want to talk about difference in the game, look at special teams. The Oilers power play 0%. The Kings 40%. Oilers penalty kill 60%. Kings penalty kill 100%. So the Kings are 140% on their power play and penalty kill. The Oilers are 60. Right? Does the goaltender, is he at fault on the power play? Like you can't just blame everything on a goalie because you don't like the goal and you're mad. Okay? You sound like a toddler stomping his feet. I don't like Skinner. It's okay to not like Skinner. But at least look at the rest of the game. My goodness, the power play stunk. The offense stunk for 40 minutes. The team defense allowed 14 high danger chances. You can't just say it's the goalie. I don't get it. Now, that being said, there's always lots more attention on the goaltending in the playoffs. Sometimes probably unfair or not. Knobloch talked about it, and are they going to see a change in game 2?
Well, goaltender is always important. And, I had a former general manager and friend who used to say goaltending is 70%, and if you don't have it, it's 100%. And during playoffs, it's just even more important because the games are so much closer, and you got two teams that are matched very closely. It's not like it's a first place team playing a last place team, and it's tight checking, and there's going to be a few breakdowns, and the difference is usually a save. But goaltending is a very important position, and you usually have success when it's going well for you. But we know Stews can turn it on and play really well, and same with Calvin. We saw that last year in the playoffs and throughout the regular season. So we've got confidence in both those guys.
Yeah, I still think it'll be Skinner, but we'll see. And obviously he's hoping that the Oilers can build off of last night. The first 38 minutes, not good. The last 22, pretty good, especially the third period. So how do you balance that? The great finish and the terrible start, what do you focus on?
It's nice for anybody to put pucks in the net. You feel better, more confident when you put pucks in the net. But you also have to look at, were they playing their game? Did they take a step back? We certainly push. But I think every game's different from game to game, and game 2 is going to be much different, and they're going to have a strategy to get better. Obviously, we're going to have a strategy how we're going to get better, and it's going to alter a little bit.
So the Oilers, hey, what's great about the playoffs is as good as you play in one game or as bad as you play in one game, it's only one game. And we've seen lots of it where it doesn't carry over. Sometimes it does. Sometimes you're just not as good as the other team. I don't believe that the Oilers aren't as good as the LA Kings, but they can easily not play as well as the LA Kings, if that makes any sense. And last night, if you look at the overall minutes of the game, the LA Kings would be happier with a higher percentage of their 60 minutes than the Edmonton Oilers would be. I don't think there's much debate on that. Hey, guys, you think Derek Ryan would make an appearance for a right shot in this face-off circle? I would say zero chance. I don't think they're going to dress a guy to take the odd face off, especially when you look at the numbers on the penalty. And I have to pull up his numbers because on the penalty kill, right? Because they break down every face-off number. I know what the penalty kill numbers are. There's a few, but not many guys who have a higher percentage on the penalty kill. Because the attacking team gets to put it on the strong side of their guy every time. And then B, even if it's kind of a 50-50, and sometimes the 50-50 draw will come down to your guys retrieving the puck, and then the center will get credit for winning the faceoff. Well, when you have one less guy on the ice, and it becomes hard. Now, you throw in the fact that you have 2 fewer guys on the ice in a 5-on-3. I'd love to what the numbers are on a team to not just win the faceoff, because maybe the center iceman can win it, but then you don't maintain possession out of it because the other team's on you quicker and they got extra guys. I'd love to know the stat for the defensive zone team, 5-on-3, who wins the draw that leads to possession and getting the puck down the ice. And they have it. And I'll have to ask just to see if they have what that number is, because I bet you it's pretty low. So maybe that's why they continue with Nugent Hopkins on the faceoff. I have to ask the question. So I'm trying to rationalize it, but I don't think there's any chance that Derek Ryan's going to get in because of it, unless there gets an injury to one of their center icemen. I don't see that happening at all. And even then, they might just move Janmark to center. 3:40. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk more playoffs. It's early on, but the tough part, just like the orders, like we've seen lots of teams go down 2-0 and still win a series, especially when you're the team going back home. But when you're a team who's maybe more of an underdog, how important does game 2 get? We'll talk about it next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Are you looking for safe and professional travel options? Look no further than Silent Rides, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
At Fountain Tire, our focus is taking care of your vehicle. Your focus? Saving up to 25% off select tires. Plus, getting up to a $120 mail-in rebate on a set of 4 select tires until April 26th. So we both win. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
The Alzheimer's Face-Off, presented by Christensen Communities Limited, hits the ice this Friday to Sunday. This Edmonton-based tournament pairs hockey fans with some of their favorites from the NHL Alumni Association for a fun-filled weekend, featuring a champions luncheon and tournament. Teams have been fundraising in the community, enabling the Alzheimer's Society of Alberta and Northwest Territories to continue providing help for today through free education programs and support services, and hope for tomorrow through research. For more information or to learn how you can get involved, visit alzheimersfaceoff.ca.
Get ready to revolutionize your job site with Edmonton Kubota's game-changing compact construction equipment. From mini excavators and skid steers to track loaders, carriers, and utility vehicles, they have a model to fit every need, all powered by legendary Kubota diesel engines. These machines are built for performance and reliability. Transform your work with Edmonton Kubota's top-of-the-line compact equipment. Visit them today and see why they're the name you can trust for power and precision.
It's playoff time, and we've got a lot to talk about. This is Andrew Walker on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. Tune in after every playoff game for the Ridge Social Eatery postgame show. The Ridge is the new hotspot in St. Albert, and it's so good.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
oodle noodle origin.
In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudel, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the New World. At Ellis Island, Nudel was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as
Oodle Noodle.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Action Electrical. They're the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta with 4 divisions in project, service, tag, and solar for commercial or residential. Contact them today in actionelectrical.net.
Pro sports, local sports, minor leagues, you got it all. It's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.346, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, and a busy Tuesday, man. It's the playoffs. It's just coming at you. There's so much stuff to discuss. Of course, the Oilers licking their wounds. We'll see, maybe feel good about themselves after how last night's game went up until the final minute. 4th time in franchise history, the Oilers tied a playoff game in the final 2 minutes, but then didn't win the game. They've done it 4 times where they tied it, and 4 times they've lost it. 3 in overtime. Last night was the first that didn't go to overtime. Drake Caggiula, if you remember, in 2007, tied it. Ram Murray in 2001, Wayne Gretzky in 1984. But they all lost. Now, Gretzky and the Oilers won their series. Murray and the Oilers lost to the Stars in 6. Caggiula and the Oilers lost in 7. So we'll see. Does McDavid and the Oilers keep the losing streak, or do they go back and get a win? We'll find out. A lot of people texting about, the NHL changed the rule. Remember, this is just a suggestion by Elliot Friedman, and it'll be proven tonight. If Matthew Tkachuk plays tonight, then the theory that if guys are on LTIR for a few months and they don't play in Game 82, they can't play to start the playoffs, well, then that theory would be out the window, wouldn't it? Because you can't just say, well, Kane can't play and Landeskog can't play, but Tkachuk can. That would make no sense. So we'll see. It's a theory that's one that's probably easy to prove based on what happens tonight. Tkachuk's been skating on their top 2 lines, although Landeskog did skate with Colorado yesterday, so we'll find out. We'll have a better sense if that is a theory or if it's just a conspiracy theory, and sadly, most conspiracy theories end up not having much truth to them. Now, let's talk a little playoff push now, brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. Truck month is on now at your Alberta GMC dealers, where you can save $5,000 cash purchase credit on a 2025 Sierra HD model. Learn more at gmccanada.ca as we go to Ottawa. TSN 1200. AJ Jakubek joins us. AJ, welcome back to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm good. Pretty fired up today, Jason, to be honest. Just got off the radio and ripped Toronto media a new one for the last hour because of, all you have to do is go on tsn.ca. Hey, I work for TSN 1200 in Ottawa. And what's the top story? It's not about anything to do with the Leafs fans on the ice. It's about how great the Leafs fans are because they actually didn't show up in suits and they chanted Brady sucks. So basically we heard a bunch of scrums today with a bunch of Toronto media asking questions about Brady sucks, as if, fans have never gotten under the skin of another player in the history of sports. I'm sure in the English Premier League, after the fans give it to a player, that's all the media wants to talk about is how the fans have made up this interesting chant. All they said is Brady sucks. Congratulations. Way to go. You actually made some noise. Move on. Let's talk about the series. We've already had it with Toronto media, and we haven't even started game 2.
Oh, I love it. Well, it is true. But don't you know, AJ, anything that happens in Toronto has never happened anywhere else before. They're the first, no other fan base has ever, what's going to be next? If they go all Mark and everyone's going to be like, oh my God, the Toronto fans are unbelievable. No one's ever done that.
It's what I would say. I think if I'm remembering correctly, and I could be wrong, but this wasn't a thing growing up. But I do remember, like, Bill Ranford in 1990, like, they were chanting Ranford. That's, for me, the first memory I have is the fans starting to get on the goaltender and chant his name. But I'm pretty sure that the likes of Terry Jones, Cam Cole, Rod Phillips, and all the other great Edmonton media weren't going up to Bill Ranford and saying after the fact, what's it like to have your name chanted? But anyways, they like to make themselves feel important, and only a couple of weeks left of this, Jason.
Well, it gets you fired up, man. Rivalries are great, but yeah, the media in Toronto does a tendency to overblow things. Hey, you know what? Good. Like, it's funny how, oh, geez, the building was loud months, and suddenly that means they're good fans. I'm like, oh my God. Now, lost in the fact was Toronto, actually, their best guys showed up, and I thought Ottawa, AJ, they had the game, they're leading, and then they just too many stupid penalties. What do you make of that for Ottawa? They got to be a little bit more disciplined in game 2.
They do. Reminded me a little bit of yesterday from the Oilers, actually, where there's a couple of calls that went against them. I didn't like the Stützle call for sure. To me, held up and bumped him, and Tanev went down a little bit easy. But at the same time, they put themselves in some bad spots, and they did take some dumb penalties. And they're not going to win this series by, look, you're going to have to play with edge. You're going to have to play between the whistles hard and a little bit of extracurricular after the whistle. Sure, I don't mind a little bit of that as well. But, they've got to play a little smarter, because if Toronto's getting 6 power plays a game, they have no chance in this series. Also, just way too many opportunities for, some of the Leafs' best players in, high danger areas, right in the slot, starting with, the first goal from Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and then goal number 2, a breakaway from Mitch Marner. Just way too much room in the middle of the ice for some of their best players. So Ottawa's got to clamp down and be better defensively. They need a save from Linus Ullmark. That's been certainly a story in the last couple of days for sure. But beyond that, they have to make his life easier and keep some more shots from the outside, kind of like the Sens were held to a lot of perimeter shots in game 1.
AJ Jakubek joined us. So, you look at this game, and I've said it for years in Toronto, if their big guns don't ever show up in the playoffs, they're not going anywhere. And for one game, their big guys all showed up. They all had 2 points, and that's what you're going to need. So if you look at it from an Ottawa perspective, and obviously their penalty kills got to be better. There's no question. And, you don't want to give them 6 power play chances. So we can start there. When you looked at the penalty kill, how much of it was Toronto doing good things on the power play? How much of it was Ottawa not killing the way they want?
Well, the 3 penalties they killed, I thought they did a pretty good job. But the 3 goals they scored, it was 3 clean face-off wins in a combined 20 seconds on the 3 goals. So it was quick face-off wins and boom, into the back of the net. So it's about being better in the face-off circle. I mean, Claude Giroux was beat clean on a couple of those. He's one of the better face-off guys in the National Hockey League. He was only 36% in game 1, but it's also what you do after you lose a draw cleanly like that, and they have to be better in that regard. But it is, that's one of the issues going into this series. If the Ottawa Senators are going to win, a couple of things. Number one, they can't be out goaltended, and that happened in game 1. Number 2, they have to be better on the penalty kill. They're 19th in the NHL this season, so it is problematic. I think that's a big part of why Matthew Highmore was actually dressed in game 1 ahead of someone who won a Stanley Cup last year in Florida, and Nick Cousins, and it still didn't work very well. So that's certainly an area that is of concern for this team, and they're a team that they can't chase the game. They have the best record in the National Hockey League this year when scoring first, but not as good when chasing the game. Now, they've been better in the second half of the season, because the first half of the year, that was a real story, because it just felt like if they were giving up the first goal, they were really behind the 8 ball. But I think against a team like Toronto, you can't be chasing the game like they were in game 1, and that requires being better defensively, being more disciplined, and getting that key save at the right time as well.
AJ Jakubek joins us. Any lineup changes coming for the Sens tonight?
Travis Green's pretty tight-lipped on that. It's a little bit concerning that Ridley Gregg didn't take the morning skate. Nick Jensen didn't take the skate either, but that's happened for 2 months. So I think it's status quo on the blue line, and I'm pretty sure Nick Jensen will be good to go alongside Thomas Chabot. But I guess the question is, if Ridley Gregg is available, and that's what Travis Green said at the press conference today, why would Fabian Zetterlund be put up in his spot on the third line instead of a placeholder? So you have to think Nick Cousins is in for sure. Is it Gregg? Is it Highmore who comes out? I guess we'll wait and see. But, Ridley Gregg's the guy. I mean, 13 guys made their playoff debut for the Ottawa Senators 2 nights ago in Toronto. And they looked like a team that was a little bit nervous, a little bit deer in the headlights, especially in the first period. I think they started to settle in, but it was much too late by the time they did. But Ridley Gregg, he's made for playoff hockey. So that would be a big loss. He's really important on their third line, a shutdown line that's been excellent the second half of the season with Shane Pinto and Mike Abadio as well. And just someone that can get under the skin of the opposition, but he's got some offensive skill, and he plays just such a competitive game, but a smart defensive game as well. So we'll see on the status of Ridley Gregg. If he is out, that would be a big loss.
Yeah, it would be a huge loss for the team. This is Ottawa's first time in the playoffs for a lot of their guys, and it's a big experience. When you talk to the players, kind of about that, because Brady Tkachuk, who was unreal at Four Nations for Team USA, he was one of their best players, arguably maybe their best player. For him, he was rather quiet, AJ, in game one, and I don't think the moment got to him because he showed it didn't get to him in Four Nations. So how banged up is he still?
That's a great question. Yeah, I guess we'll have a better indication tonight. Was it nerves? Was it injury? The thing is, he suffered a lower body injury at the Four Nations that he dealt with after the fact and wasn't 100%. And then he came back and suffered an upper body injury after that. And that kept him out for 7 games before playing the last game of the season. Then he got a high stick. Then he got another high stick in a practice. So, he's been dealing with a lot of different things, upper body, lower body. But no doubt, I can't imagine he's at 100%. But I think we'll get a better indication tonight of maybe how banged up he's been and just how he looks here tonight. Because if it's more the same, and I thought he had a decent game, but you're right, it wasn't that prototypical Brady Tkachuk, coming out party game that we saw at the Four Nations where he was wreaking havoc and running everything that moves. So we'll see tonight how much of a factor those injuries seem to be.
Yeah, well, injuries at the playoffs, man, can be such a determining factor for players. And usually you never really hear about it till after the fact. And even then, they don't want to use it as an excuse. But the fact is, if a guy's banged up and maybe you're only 85%, the fine line in the NHL for a lot of the players, that 15% is the difference between you being effective and you just being average.
Yeah, no question about it. And, they've had some guys like Nick Jensen's a prime example. And you can see, he's been a revelation coming over this year. I think Washington got the better player in Jacob Chychrun, and certainly he had a great year with the Capitals. But Jensen a better fit for the Senators because they had 2 left shot defensemen already here, and Thomas Chabot and Jake Sanderson in their top 4, and they were moving, Chychrun and Chabot at times to the other side, and neither really fit in that great there. And they just needed a right shot defense that could come in and play steady, simple minutes alongside a player like Chabot. And because of that, Chabot has played his best hockey of his NHL career this year, playing with that steady influence alongside him. And even Jensen, you can see lately, as he's such a great, effortless skater, but you can tell turning a little bit is a little bit more laborious for him. So that's another one that clearly is the player who's not playing anywhere near 100%. Again, as I said earlier, essentially for 2 months, he hasn't been skating. He did have one practice a couple of weeks ago where everyone's like, oh, wow, Nick Jensen's actually out for a practice. But it was back to the usual not skating on the game day, but playing that night. And that's what we've been seeing for quite some time when it comes to Nick Jensen.
Age, enjoy the game tonight, and we'll see what magical new chant that has never been said before happens in Toronto.
Oh, and it's going to be the lead story for the next couple of weeks. Yeah. Appreciate it. And I love this time of year. It was a fun night. Unfortunately, didn't go the Oilers' way last night, but fun night of hockey watching. And my goodness, Connor McDavid, that was just unbelievable to watch.
Yeah, he's not a bad player. Not bad at all. Age, enjoy the game.
You bet. Thanks, Jason. Cheers.
It's AJ Jackbeck from TSN 1200. It's somewhat comical that you would think Brady sucks is an actual story. Like, what world are we living in? You know what you're living? You're living in the bubble that is Toronto. And there's still some people there that don't, they're like, what success? Oh my God. Now let's find a thing. Like, the story shouldn't be that they were training Brady sucks. The story is, and none of them have the guts to write it. The big guns showed up for a game. That should have been the story. Because anybody outside of Toronto sees it. Until their big guns are their best guys regularly, they're not going to go deep. That's just how it is for every team. Now, sometimes your big guns can be great and the rest of your team isn't good. You're not going to win. That's true. That doesn't mean the case in Toronto. Just look at their playoff numbers. Right? They all go down. The other superstars in around the league, they stay close to the same, and in some cases even a little bit better. You can't have everybody dropping from 1.16 to 0.87, 1.13 to 0.88, 0.96 to 0.7, and then be like, well, geez, it's our defense. No. It's your big guns who carried you all year suddenly didn't do it. But in game one, they did. They combined for 9 points. 2 for Matthews, 2 for Nylander, 2 for Tavares, 3 for Marner. That's why they won. Their power play was great. Ottawa took too many penalties. The Brady sucks chant was like white noise. That had no impact or outcome on the game. But that's the lead story. Unreal. Let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. You got a few days left up until April 26th. You can save up to 25% off select tires, plus get an additional $120 mail-in rebate on a set of 4 select tires. Book your appointment today at fountaintire.com.
The New York Islanders will not have Lou Lamoriello back as general manager next season, as they announced today that his contract will not be renewed. The Islanders made the playoffs in 4 of his 6 seasons at the helm, but finished outside this season with just 82 points. On the ice tonight in the NHL, it all gets going with a 4 o'clock start as the Hurricanes taking on the Devils. Carolina leading 1-0 at 5:30. The Sens looking to tie up their series with the Maple Leafs at 1 apiece. And at 6:30, you got the Panthers and Lightning game 1 of their series at 9 o'clock. It all wraps up. Golden Knights hosting the Wild. Vegas leading 1-0 in that series. In the association, starting at 5, Pacers host the Bucks. Then you have the Grizz in OKC and the Lakers taking on the Timberwolves just after 8 o'clock. Major League Baseball, Blue Jays in Houston taking on the Astros. First pitch set for 6:10 elsewhere. Reds taking on the Marlins. The Yankees are in Cleveland. Nationals host the Orioles. Mariners up against the White Sox. You got the Royals, Rockies, Dodgers, Cubs, and Angels, Pirates. In the WHL tonight, we've got Game 7, Winterhawks and Silvertips meeting in Everett. Also, the Chiefs hosting the Royals, leading 3-2. Both those games get going just after 8 o'clock. In the AJ League Final, GP hosting Calgary. The Canucks lead that series 2-0. Puck drop at 7, and locally, Crusaders hosting the Brooks Bandits out at Sherwood Park Arena. Bandits lead that series 2-0. That'll get going just after 7. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll ask 5 questions, be joined by former NHLer Jason Strudwick, and we'll take another qualifier for Here Comes the Sun. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Adventure just doesn't stumble into your life. It roars to life with Riverside Motorsports. Tearing up trails or cruising the open road. Yamaha ATVs, side-by-sides, motorcycles, and dirt bikes deliver the performance you crave. Built for thrills, ready for your next
Connor Halley,
adventure.
Sports 1440, Order Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and
there. Make Mother Nature your playground on a Yamaha from Riverside Motorsports. Located on St. Albert Trail.
Jason Gregor,
Riverside.com. Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
McDonald's has entered a Minecraft movie universe, and Grimace, Birdie, and Hamburglar just spawned as new collectibles in the overworld. Now, for a limited time, You can get one of 6 McDonald's collectibles when you order a Minecraft movie meal with your choice of a Big Mac or a 10-piece chicken McNuggets with spicy nether flame sauce. A Minecraft movie meal, available now at your local McDonald's. See it in theaters April 4th. Meal available for a limited time while supplies last at participating Canadian restaurants.
Kevin Carius, Low Tide, Jason Gregor. They are all ready for the Cup Run. Sports 1440 is your home for all things hockey, including our pre- and post-game show with Andrew Walker. Sports 1440 is Edmonton's sports leader.
Spring style and road-ready performance are more affordable than ever. Now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save up to $5,000. Lease a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 4.9% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save $2,000. Get ready for the open road at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services, only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Drought fighter and disease control are both included with every Green Drop program at no extra cost. Since 1979, Green Drop has been making beautiful weed-free lawns guaranteed. Book today.
Canada's lawn expert since 1979. Visit greendrop.com.
You can expect two things this spring, oil country: playoff beards and weird car noises after coming back from winter LTIR. Don't let something like a worn-out transmission or squeaky brakes keep you from catching the playoffs. Whether you need quality brakes, top brand oils, or a battery with more energy than 97 on the ice, Napa Auto Parts has all your trusted parts, tools, equipment, and automotive needs to keep your vehicle in winning shape for the games ahead. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Biodiversity is disappearing, and most of us aren't noticing. For Earth Day, it's time to open our eyes. 10 endangered species are still around. Can you find them all before they disappear? Play Earth Day's Seek and Find game on earthday.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. It's Terrific Tuesday. Get 40% off any regular price pizza when you use the code word 40Tuesday at the start of each pizza order at papajohns.ca.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.408. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Gregor Show, as always, is presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game. Use the promo code Gregor100. Use it before your next deposit or when you sign up, and you'll get a free casino play. I love it at PlayAlberta.ca. Also, it's Tuesday. And you know what? Maybe you need to relax Serenity now after the lost $55 million. Up for grabs. A lot of max and 4 max millions. So good luck for the draw that goes later tonight. Coming up, of course, we're going to get to Here Comes the Sun promotion, where you have a chance to qualify to win a $15,000 turnkey solar package for your home, courtesy of Action Electrical. There's a few things. You need to be a homeowner. Must reside within 50 kilometers in the Edmonton area, east, west, north, or south. Also, your shingles, 12 years or newer. Now, if you have older ones, we had some, man, mine are 30. What if I win? Well, then replace them first. That they will gladly put it on. But because if you have 30-year-old shingles and they put this on, then you're going to have to cost yourself way more money when you eventually have to replace your shingles, which will probably be sooner than later. And then the last step is you send an email in, and Connor will send you all the details, and that's pretty simple. And away you go. So, good luck. This is a fantastic package, like $15K. So it's not only that, you get the $15,000, but then you got it really lowers your utility bill, man. It's big savings. So you get to save the expense up front, and then you get the savings every month afterwards. So this is a deal that is awesome from Action Electrical. Now, there's two choices. If you qualify, you can keep it for yourself, or you have the option if you wanted to gift it to someone else, you can. And that's where the paragraph comes in. So it is your choice. So today, we did a little trivia yesterday. Today, you know what? After a loss, Oilers fans, you're looking for some positivity. Okay? So here we'll do it. So today, you text into 833-401-1440. Include your name. And all you need to do today, Cons, some people are going to hate me for doing this, but I'm just doing it for fun. Some days it's good to be the host. Got to have a sense of humor. So today, to get qualified, you will include your name at the end. Text into 833-401-1440. And one thing that you like best about Stuart Skinner. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. And you will qualify to get in to the draw. Somebody today will go in and have a chance to win a $15,000 turnkey solar system from Action Electrical. So very easy. One thing you like about Stuart Skinner, right? Now remember, if it is a negative that you try to make as a positive, I'm not sure Connor will pick you. So just keep in mind. Keep in mind. So there you go. Now here's the other thing. Hey, Gregor, if the NHL did indeed put this in, it sure seems like they're going after Edmonton. Well, so let's clarify. This is just a suggestion from Friedman that there's no proof of this other than Landeskog and Kane have sat out, whereas Dougie Hamilton and Seguin played in Game 82. But here's the one. Matthew Tkachuk hasn't played since the Four Nations, late February. So if he plays tonight, are you going to tell me that because Seguin wasn't out the whole year like Kane, and he played in Game 82, Dougie Hamilton wasn't out the whole year, he played in Game 82. Tkachuk wasn't out the whole year, but he didn't play in Game 82. So if this theory, if there's any truth to it, wouldn't Tkachuk have to miss tonight's game? Wouldn't he? Like, you can't say your team can't do it, but you guys can. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So maybe Seguin and Hamilton were simply guys who were like, you know what? We're ready to go. We have the cap space to do it. These guys wanted to knock off some rust for a game. So, hey, theories are nice, but conspiracy theories, we'll see. And I'll just say this. If Tkachuk plays tonight, that seems to end any discussion, does it not? That the NHL sent this out there. Now, I'm on record as saying, and we've talked about this on the show, I'd be all for two things. Your 20-man game roster needs to be cap compliant. That gives you a little bit of leeway because sometimes you'll carry a 23-man roster, which if your extra guys are all at league minimum, that's still going to put you at what, $2.25 million over? Okay, so that gives you a little bit of space. But it's not like a team could hide a $9 million guy and then suddenly insert him into the roster. So if your 20-man game roster is cap compliant, no problem. That's one option we had. The other option we had was if you don't play in Game 82, you got to miss the first. Now, some people said the whole series. I was like, you know what? Let's just go 2 games. So I'd be, if that's what the league has decided to do, I'm all for it. But if Tkachuk plays tonight, then clearly they haven't. Which again, I'm fine with because in theory, you can't just, well, if you change the rule, then you have to actually change the rule in the rule book, do you not? You can't just say, hey guys, we're going to do this. Because usually when they have a change, and we've seen changes before, something gets sent out, it gets talked about. So I don't know. It seems like it's going to stir up a lot of people. But if Tkachuk plays tonight, it just means that guess what? Evander Kane isn't ready to play yet. Right? Now, Landeskog took the warm-up, didn't play. Now, was Colorado given the proverbial bleep you? Maybe. But again, I think if Tkachuk is playing tonight, that ends the discussion about whether or not this was actually something that has come to fruition or not. Cons, where do you come out on this?
It seems a little weird. Like, why now? Why now is the time to...
Well, but do you actually believe it's...
No, I don't believe it. Because, like, if I was a team and I want to win, I would say, no, Like,
Yeah, first of all,
with all due respect, what are you going to do?
Yeah, what are you
I
going to
didn't
do?
break any rules, so
Yeah.
no, I'm not listening. I'm putting out
Totally.
Evander Kane or Landeskog. So
I agree.
That would be my response. You don't
Yeah.
like this? Change it next
Yeah,
year.
like tell us how. So we're going to do it. Tell me, what are you going to do to us?
Exactly.
You're going to fine us quietly? No, I'm not going to put up with it.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. Like, you can't just, that's why to me it's a theory that just doesn't hold a lot of water. I get that Oilers fans are fired up and you want to believe it to be true. It just seems, now if Tkachuk doesn't play tonight, then okay. The NHL did it. Now I wouldn't agree with it because you're right. A team could say, no, I'm not listening. Why would I? Teams in the past have done it. And you even said it was within the rules. So until it's not within the rules, it's within the rules.
Yeah.
Now, I know the rule book is just there as a guideline for the NHL. They don't seem to want to follow it in lots of cases. They give you the definition of hooking, but it depends. So maybe this one is, you know what? In 2025, you're not allowed to do it. But in 2022 and 2023, you were allowed. Now, why is that? Well, we just randomly decided. It is the NHL, so I guess I can't 100% say it's not going to happen, but I'd be a little surprised. And I am going to give you a warning for tomorrow's show. To qualify for Here Comes the Sun, it is going to be connected to our YouTube page because we might have a code word for you to see on the YouTube page to then have to be put in the text line. So just keep that in mind for tomorrow. If you really want to win a $15,000 package, which is pretty good, and you should. So you can go to the YouTube page tomorrow, right around, 3:30, because we'll probably put it up there a little bit earlier to give you time to see it. Go there. And if you do, make sure you hit the thumbs up. Added bonus. You hit the thumbs up. Take a screen capture, send it to us. Maybe your odds of winning will improve even more. We'll see. Lots of other notes in the NHL. There is 4 games tonight. Actually, one's already on, baby. It's early NHL playoffs tonight in Carolina. The Devils, Jesper Bratt has made it 1-0. They lead over the Hurricanes. And hey, remember, they got absolutely worked in game 1. They got worked. Shots early on, 6-1 Devils. They lead 1-0. They're like, hey, wait a second. We're not just going to roll over and die. Senators and Maple Leafs will get going at puck drop around 5:45 our time. Then you have the Panthers and the Lightning finally starting. That will get going around 6:45-ish our time. And the late game tonight, which will go at 9 our time. Ouch. That's 10 Central for Minnesota fans. 10 o'clock. And the puck drop's probably not till like 10:15. That is a tough one if you're a Wild fan. So they're trying to even up that series against Vegas. Also, you have NBA playoff. Man, I love playoffs. Con, I don't know about you, but man, I'm loving the NBA playoffs. I'm all over it. We saw the Clippers even up their series at 1 last night, as did the Detroit Pistons with a big win on the road in New York. Tonight, you got Milwaukee and Indiana. Milwaukee got spanked in game 1. OKC absolutely murdered Memphis. Hey, it'll be closer, but I don't know if it'll be that close. And the Lakers looking to bounce back after losing in game 1 as well. So those games start at 5:30, 8 o'clock Edmonton time. If you're interested for a little hoops and NHL, night off for the Oilers, maybe you want to switch it up. We'll see what happens.
Damian Lillard returning to the lineup for the Bucks too.
Ooh, that'll be, yeah. Well, dude, did you see their starting lineup after Antetokounmpo? They did a whole lot of nothing.
They need him, yeah.
Jeez, they were shooting bricks like Strutty back in high school. Mr. Brick. Now, when we come back, by the way, lots of people loving Skinner's stash, I've noticed. In the stash and his mental makeup. Those are the 2 things so far that seem to be the major one, and that's fine. So we'll pick a qualifier during the commercial break. Be sure to answer your phone because we'll call you to get on the line to confirm you're in. That's how 100%. So everybody knows that we have a winner. This is a pretty big prize, and by the rules of the prize, you need to come on air to officially qualify. So answer your phone. It's from a private number because that's how Connor rolls. He's a big deal. So have your phone on. If you text in, good luck. We'll come back with Jason Stradwick on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, hot, cold. Come on, thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold, till the vents start pushing out tornadoes. Bundle my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a new from Legacy. Oh, yeah. Save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium one-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular price. The works, the meats. Pick your favorite specialty pizza and get even more delicious Papa John's to enjoy. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience. But it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Centre's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-660-0514 or visit edmontonexpocentre.com today.
I'm tired of waking up tired. Waking up tired. Yeah, waking up tired. Are you tired of waking up tired? Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress, guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium one-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular price. The works, the meats. Pick your favorite specialty pizza and get even more delicious Papa John's to enjoy. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
The federal election is on Monday, April 28th. Are you planning to vote? Check your voter information card or visit elections.ca to find out where and when to vote. Polls are open for 12 hours. Don't forget to bring accepted ID. If you're not registered to vote, you can register at your assigned polling station.
For the official information you need to vote, visit elections.ca or call 1-800-463-6868. It's our vote.
For a rock-solid start on all your spring and summer projects, Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete to septic tanks, precast water pads to outhouses, plus aggregates, landscaping supplies, and more. Renos, construction. Start planning right now at BashawConcrete.com or call 780-372-3854. That's 780-372-3854. Family owned and operated, proudly serving Albertans since 1963. Bashaw Concrete Products.
Biodiversity is disappearing, and most of us aren't noticing. For Earth Day, it's time to open our eyes. 10 endangered species are still around. Can you find them all before they disappear? Play Earth Day's Seek and Find game on earthday.ca.
If you change your mind, take a chance on the coaching line. Honey, I'm still free. Take a chance on me.
Pours to this hour brought to you by Japa. Do you know that Japa offers in-house and on-site heavy equipment service? Rain or shine, Japa's service department is here for you. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Did Ken Halley? $422. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely Tuesday. Hey, and you know what? Hey, you got to shake it off, right? Got to shake it off. It's like the Oilers are going to have to. It was not the game they wanted for opening night. They changed a few things. I felt a little bit in their attack. Oh, well, because really they had a non-existent attack early on. So we'll talk about that. But first, let's get to our qualifier today. And here comes the sun, your chance to qualify and win a $15,000 turnkey solar system for your home, courtesy of Action Electrical, or you can gift it to someone else. John was our lucky qualifier today. John, how you doing?
I'm doing very well, Jason. How are you?
John, I'm great. I'm good. Where do you come? Would you start Skinner? Would you start Pickard tomorrow?
I would go with Stewart again.
Okay. Go with Stewart. Now, John, if you win, are you going to keep the system for yourself, or do you have anyone you want to gift it to?
Well, I would have to check around with friends and that and see if anybody was really in need of that. But otherwise, we definitely could use it ourselves. Absolutely.
Well, there you go. Awesome. Well, stay on the line, and Connor will get all your information. We will do the draw on May 23rd. And if you are called, you will be winning. You have one final step. We'll explain it to you. It's very simple on an email, just so we have all that stuff. And then away you go. Good luck.
That's awesome, Jason.
There you go. So tomorrow, your next chance to qualify, $15,000 on courtesy of Action Electrical. Now, let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Hockey Super League, a premier hockey solution with a clear path for long-term development, offering borderless hockey, including provincial and cross-province competition. Visit hockeysuperleague.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show presents Struds On.
I don't believe in tea bags. I use loose leaf tea. It is so much better than the tea bags. I'll eat tea bags. I'll
Struds On.
I'm not a huge DJ guy. I mean, I guess if you hand me a couple glow sticks and a tight white t-shirt that I can get wet, maybe I'd be into it.
Struds On.
There's a lone steakhouse I used to go to down in Kentucky, and they had bowls of peanuts. I wasn't sucking on those ones. You know, I mean, you need to have clean nut. I'm talking about the kind you get in a bag at an Elks game. You know what I mean?
It's time for Struds On.
427. Oh, there's the old. Was that Struddy's impression of Venezuela? I think it might have been. Jason Gregor Show, as well as a co-host Got Your Back podcast. Struddy, how you doing?
Great. How you making out, buddy?
Ooh, well, Struddy, I'll say this: I'm much better than the first 38 minutes of that for the Oilers last night, because they were awful for the first 38 minutes.
Yeah, you just nailed it. You know, and it seemed like, you know, it's kind of when I was growing up, I was kind of screwing around. And your mom and dad would come home and just lay into you. Well, that's what Leon Draisaitl did on the bench. I don't know who he was yelling at, but he was yelling at everyone. It was anyone who was in the way, and that seemed to kind of wake them up, because they all started to seem to get playing better, getting to the middle of the ice. Well, they scored the goal at the end of the second, but in the third, they had way more tempo and kind of desire to their game.
So you look at the first few periods, what did you feel was lacking the most for Edmonton?
Greg's, honestly, I felt like they were playing a regular season game. There was really no extra, and they're hitting, and we'll give them that. There was a lot of hits, but there's more to intensity than just hitting. You know, there's fighting, get to the net with and without the puck. There's, defending hard in your own zone, making hard plays with the puck. Like if you look at the second goal against, and maybe it's a bit unfair to pick on Skinner, but, he gets his stick slashed out of his hand. Well, could he made a harder, stronger play there and really been hard on it, maybe protect the puck, get it out of the zone and make a hard play. And it's just kind of, they were just kind of, they looked like they were in summer mode. And LA wasn't. LA they wanted to get that win. They wanted to get off to a good start. And then, that fourth goal against seemed to be the thing that snapped everyone kind of back into what I would call playoff mode from then on. And let's hope that they bring playoff mode tomorrow night in LA.
Yeah, well, you saw Draisaitl on the bench, eagerly encouraging his teammates. You know what? That's going to happen sometimes, because it was funny. Like after that next shift came out, and Henrique and Janmark and Hyman, they had like 5 hits in 42 seconds, and we're really after guys. And then, even though it was a kind of a broken play when they entered the zone, Draisaitl's pass missed McDavid. It goes to Bouchard. Then McDavid makes a great play, cut in underneath Kopitar. Draisaitl one times it, and boom, now they're kind of off and running. And then, maybe the most unexpected combination on a second goal ever. Janmark's first goal where he shoots it on a goalie this year. Frederick's first point as an order, and Skinner's first playoff point in game 1079, because it's his first playoff game. They slowly started going. What did you think when you were watching the Wallman penalty for over the glass? Did you think it was over the glass? Did you think it was what did you make of that whole sequence that led to the Oilers challenge and then ultimately being down for 2 minutes?
Well, first off, I didn't realize that was Wallman's only second playoff game.
Yeah.
So I think that we talked about the Senators. We talked about all these teams that don't have a lot of playoff experience. Wallman doesn't have a lot, and doesn't mean he's not a good player. It means that the playoffs are different. So even the cross-check penalty he got, now you might not like that one, but you're leaving it to chance. The refs, you're giving the refs a chance to get into the game when you cross-check someone like that. So I thought he was so fired up and he just wanted to do something good. But I get it. Good. That's you want that. Now, as far as the penalty of the over the glass, I think that in that moment, what he does to help the Oilers is skate and make plays. He got that puck. He looked at that glass and he shot it right away. He could have skated it probably 2-3 strides, made someone come to him, and then make a play. So again, that's the playoffs. It's different. So I think, froze is the wrong one, but he was just in a hurry to make a play. So was it or was it not a penalty? I'm not sure, but I think there was an option there for him to not even have that conversation, because he could have skated with the puck. Someone comes at you. Now you make the pass. And that's what he does well. That is what he's here to do, Greggs. Be physical, skate, and make passes. And you just have to go, when you're not sure of yourself, you have to go back to what you do well. And that is what he does well. He didn't in that play. And then did it hit, not hit the net or the glass? I really have no idea. I thought it did, but I wouldn't put my life on it.
Yeah, there was nothing conclusive. I'm looking, because I don't know how many times I watched the angle. Well, it looks like it changed, but it looks like it, and I don't know. And you know what? It was, I think it's probably the right call at the end of the day. The one linesman on the ice originally said it was, and the ref overruled him. And if you look at the replay where the linesman was, he wasn't really facing the play. The ref probably had a better angle. They went with him. And then obviously they looked at it for quite a while. It's a pretty key moment, because honestly, when it was a 2-minute 5-on-3, after how quickly the Kings had scored on their first 5-on-3, you're thinking, oh, they're going to score here again. But Josh Brown had a key block. Nurse had 2. Skinner made some big saves. At least gave them some hope, moving forward, that A, they can kill a penalty, and B, it kept them in the game. They did battle back, and those things are all good. So I'll ask you, Klingberg, if he's available, is it a no-brainer? Do you play him for Josh Brown? What would you do?
Well, first off, whoever you're going to play has to play more than 4:42, right? I've had a shift that was almost that long, a single shift in the NHL. That was 3 periods, Griggs. You cannot play. You can't. Sorry, let me rephrase that. You can't expect someone to playing 4 minutes over 2.5 hours. I'm sorry, you can't. And Paul Coffey, he never had that problem, right? He was out there all the time. But for a guy who did, and you're asking me to go out now and try to kill a penalty when you haven't moved your legs in, real time, maybe 20, 30 minutes, really, really hard to do. So I think you either play him, like I said, minimum 8 minutes. Minimum 8 minutes is a little bit more, because all we got last night, Griggs, was some penalty kill and then fourth line time when they could squeak him out. So now you're playing 5, so it's a lot to ask for him. So if you're going to put Klingberg, I could see putting Klingberg in. I mean, Brown was really physical, and I didn't think he played poorly. I mean, the first goal, probably should have. You didn't know that because he didn't know he was there.
Yeah, like the Oilers, they ask their guys sometimes to play too high. So did he just play too high and then not shoulder check? Because I think maybe your coach should do it, but at the same time, you still got to be aware of where you're at, right?
Yeah, I don't think he knew Kuzmenko was there, because his stick wasn't really in at all in that area. So if you know he's there, you at least try to get your stick in that area to defend that pass, right? So he didn't know that it was there, and that was a nice pass and a pretty hard tip by Kuzmenko. That's not an easy one to tip it like that. So if Klingberg is available, do I play him? Yeah, I mean, you could put him in there. He moves the puck pretty well. I guess my question is, how's he skating? I haven't seen him skate. Like, is he moving better, especially without the puck? That would be my thing. Now, he can make plays for sure, better than Josh Brown. And maybe that's what you're looking for, someone to make the play, get the puck up to the forwards quicker. So in that way, it would make sense. But I'll tell you this, if you thought Josh Brown was limited in his 4 minutes, you play Klingberg 4 minutes, and it'll be even worse because Klingberg doesn't kill penalties and he's not physical.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's hard to stay in the game, right? So now I looked at the orders, Struddy, and I went through teams that had 4 defensemen played 22 minutes a night or more in the playoffs since 2010. And 7 teams have done it and made it to the Stanley Cup final. And some of them had like Hall of Famers in Keith and Pronger. But then other teams, you know what? You had like the Montreal Canadiens had Ben Sherratt playing 25 minutes a night. And yeah, they had Shea Weber, so he's pretty good. But, he didn't even play the most that year. And they had other guys, playing 23, 24. So I look at the order's top 4. And Brett Kulak said, man, I feel better in the game. They're all good skaters. I think they're probably just going to have to be 24 minutes a night, maybe, or 22, maybe, 20 or whatever, if you get Klingberg in a little bit more. But I don't think Klingberg, the way he played, gives me a boatload of confidence that he's going to play a lot of minutes.
Gonna have to earn it, isn't he? He's gonna have to earn those ice time. If he does get, he's gonna have to earn that extra time that he gets. The 4D, man, I don't know how hard LA isn't an outrageously physical team. Like, they try to be, but I didn't think that their D man were getting pounded last night. Because what did Emerson get? He got, he's 10, 11, 12?
Yeah,
somewhere there?
I think he played, I want to say 12, but I'll double check.
Yeah. So listen, I don't, whether you have a choice or not, you got to do it. You got to play those 4 guys a ton. But those 4 guys, they have to make it easy on themselves and kind of manage the puck, right? Get that puck and put it in a position to give your buddies a chance, then get that puck up the ice. So you have some easier shifts in their own zone. They all can skate well. They're all pretty big guys, so they can defend well. And then you got to get the puck out of your zone as quick as you can, and maybe ask your centerman to really come back and help those Ds so they can get out of the transition quickly. But no, they don't have a choice. Like, you can't. It was going to be 5 + 1. Now it's 4 + 1 + 1 way down there.
Yeah, that's fair. Up front, what did you make of Frederick's play? Now, they went down to like 8 or 9 forwards for the last 14 minutes. He wasn't one of the guys in the rotation. But what did you make of his play up until that point?
Well, I love the goal. I mean, the goal, I'm not sure if it was a snow shovel or a spade, but he just took that puck and drove it to the net and just shot it. He just kept hammering in front till finally got by someone, and then Janmark drops it in back door, and that's what you're going to get from him. I didn't think he showed the energy he did in the first game. Maybe he was a little bit gun shy because of the fact that, he like, can I trust this thing? So I would expect that, and I'm assuming, I haven't heard anything, I'm assuming that he got through it without, it catching him. And anyone who's ever sprayed their ankle knows that feeling where everything's fine and all of a sudden you do something and it catches you again. So I'm assuming that's it. So I think his confidence in that ankle will be higher. And I think we'd see, more skating and more jumping from him. The longer this series go, the longer the playoffs go, assuming there's no setback, will make him a better player and more effective for the Oilers because he'll be getting healthier while playing.
Yeah, I would agree wholeheartedly. Now, Kane, Friedman's kind of stirred up a hornet's nest with his claim that maybe the NHL is watching guys, and that's why, Sagan and Hamilton played in game 82, and, Kane didn't, and Landeskog didn't, so they're not. But if Tkachuk plays tonight, that theory gets blown right out of the water, doesn't it?
It does. And honestly, Grace, why now? Why now? You had Kuznetsov in Tampa openly flaunting the fact they were over the cap. It was on a shirt, if I remember correctly. That and Bud's beer stains all over his shirt. Like, he to me, it's why now? Why are you doing this now? They're not breaking the rules. It's in the gray area for sure. But all those guys you just mentioned are all in the same boat. We saw it with Stone. We saw it with Kane, Patrick Kane years ago. But listen, I hope that Kane does come into this series because he provides something that Doughty does for LA. You see Doughty chirping guys, when Connor went to hit him, he's chirping him. Evander Kane, even if he is not, let's say he's 80% of himself, his mouth is 100%. His mouth is always healthy. It's always going, and he'll get into guys' voices, get into their ears, maybe, get to the netminder. So I really hope he gets in there. And unfortunately, I believe it'd be Skinner, the skater, who comes out if that happens. He'll have his one playoff game, and then he'll be out, and then Kane would be in. That'd be my guess.
So who would you? So you think Skinner would come out? ahead of Podkolzin. Like Podkolzin didn't play down the stretch. There was him and there was Brown and Janmark and Frederick. Podkolzin didn't really play. Do you think he stays in?
I think that we've seen consistently this year that the coaching staff has more faith in Podkolzin, and I think he can also kill penalties if needed, whereas Skinner is neither power play or penalty kill. So Kane would be essentially filling the same role as Skinner has, a non-specialty teams player, and he'd go in and do that. So yeah, I think it'd be Skinner. They would come out over anyone else, because we've seen it over time and time again this year with the coaching staff.
Yeah, well, you could be right. There was a few plays where I saw Skinner, he's carrying the puck up and he's just holding on to it a little too long. The play dies in the neutral zone. And those are the plays that I don't think the coach loves. So, yeah, we'll see. I don't know if Kane's right. I think Kane's going to be playing in game 3 for sure is what I was told. Will it be game 2? I'd listened to Knobloch. His response when he was asked about Kane and Klingberg, it definitely seemed much more likely that Klingberg was going to play. Or at least be an option to play in game 2 rather than Kane. The 38 minutes we talked about, Struddy, were brutal. The 22 after that were better. And Edmonton generated way more, obviously. LA seems to play like their defensive structure. I was watching a lot. So they have the 2 defensemen. Then they like to line up their forwards when they can, Struddy, almost across like the top of the circle, the ringette line, right? Did you see that? What did you notice about that kind of system that they're playing defensively?
Yeah, they love to try to clog up the middle of the ice. And that's the challenge. I think the Oilers did a much better job in the third period. Let's just go the third period. Driving. And it's with your body and with the puck. You've got to get there. And it's hard because you're content to sit on the outside and kind of move it around. And the system they have set up is that they're not necessarily going to chase you down when you're on the wall or chase you down when you're on the blue line. They're like, yeah, we'll give you that shot there. We hope, or we think that, you're going to have to change your shot because my guy might be in the shot lane. And if you notice, their D-man, oftentimes they front the Oilers guy. So that means, let's say it's whoever Connor Brown's in front. Well, Mike Anderson steps in front of Connor Brown so he can't tip it. But more importantly, maybe Mike Anderson can block that shot. So they just have layer after layer, trying not to let you get the puck to them. And then if you do, they have you outnumbered in there because they have 5 guys in the middle of the ice.
Well, I look at the orders, and obviously McDavid, he turned things up. There's a few other guys that played better, but I look at Edmonton and where did you come out on Stu Skinner? There's some people wondering about goaltending. Do you stay with Skinner? Would you go with Pickard?
Yeah, he was okay. I think both goalies are okay, but unfortunately for Stu Skinner, the story is that the person he's playing against, Kemper, had one more save, right? That's the reality. He had one more save than Stu Skinner. I would continue with Stu Skinner tomorrow. I think that he's the guy that will most likely be starting tomorrow. If I'm guessing, I know it sounds like it's undecided. But Knobloch has surprised us before, and especially that Vancouver series, and put Pickard in. But he made some good saves. There's one that he'd like to have back probably, but his buddy made one more save. And at the end of the day, a W. It doesn't matter if you led in 5 if you get the W.
Yeah, well, I guess that's maybe true. All I know is the Oilers gave up 14 high danger chances, Struddy. You've talked a lot about defense, man. You're not winning many games doing that.
And self-inflicted. You think about the third and fourth goal. And, listen, Evan Bouchard is, when the puck's on his stick and he's dialed in, that puck, he is really elite at moving the puck. But those are 2 opportunities where he got on his backhand, and it felt to me like he was just trying to get it off his stick. That's what guys like Josh Brown, myself, we want to get it off our stick. Everybody else on the team wants Bouchard to have it on his stick. So in the first case, he throws it back up to Nurse, up the wall, and kind of puts him in a bad spot. All they had to do is kind of take it around the net and pass it up. Then the second one, he tries to top it into the middle of the ice. Like, I get it. You can make those plays, but that's not to make the play at that time.
Well, what did you make of Bouchard on the 3rd and 4th goals, Struddy? Like the 4th goal, I know he sees McDavid. It's still a risky play, but he sees McDavid there. He probably could have made it, but some like those guys are going to make a little bit of a risky play. That one, I'm like, I don't love it, but the 3rd one bothered me more, Struddy. You're a defenseman. You're on your forehand now he's a right defenseman, but he's on the left corner at that point. He's on his forehand going back. He can just ring it around because the F1 is on him right now. The F2 is behind him. There's no chance F3 is on the other side of the ice, right? Why wouldn't he just ring the ball like that against the grain, soft backhand pass? Like, I hate it as a defenseman, but maybe I'm wrong in reading that play. What did you make of that play?
Well, the number one, he puts it in a bad spot for Darnell Nurse and really handcuffs Nurse. But what I would have done, or like, well, not what I would have done, what I would like to see done is carry the puck around the net, because now you're coming around the net on your forehand and you can buzz that puck up the ice to anyone. It's a really strong play. So, and we've seen him do that. But then to me, it looked like he was uncomfortable with the puck on his stick. But you want that puck on his stick. Like, I'm a teammate. I'm like, Evan, I want you to have the puck on your stick. I want you making passes because you're very good at what you do with the puck on your stick. So I think that we'll see a more, I don't know if confidence is the right word, but I like to see Bouchard making those types of plays, because that's what he does. That is what he is. He's not a fighter. He's not a massively physical guy. He's not a penalty killer. He is a guy who, when the puck's on his stick, makes good plays, and he needs to do it more consistent and not give up those types of ones.
Freddie, what do you think happens in game 2?
I want to believe that the Oilers will carry on their playoff mode we saw in the period 3. I thought that they're in regular season mode for period 1 and 2. If they carry that into the first period of game 3 or game 2, I think that they'll be able to get the win and come back split, which is obviously what you want to get. I think they come out and they come out hard, and it would have been very uncomfortable around that arena or that dressing room between the guys losing and then Connor and Leon. And even Knobloch seemed a little off last night. Like, he was kind of short with his answers. And it's like, that's a game that they shouldn't have won. They could have won, and they threw it away at the last second.
Struddy, have yourself an awesome day. We will chat with you next Tuesday.
Looking forward to it, guys. Take it easy.
There you go. There's Jason Strudwick joins every Tuesday here on Sports 1440. We'll come back. We got 5 questions and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Nuges Nuggets. This is Nuges Nuggets, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. What nugget of heating and cooling advice does Nuge have today?
You can save a lot of money by bundling your new furnace and AC with Legacy. It's kind of like saving money on an endorsement by bundling me, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, with someone like, I don't know, Zachary Martin Hyman.
Thanks for suggesting me, Nuge. Get no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new AC and furnace from Legacy Heating and Cooling. Proud sponsor of Nuges Nuggets.
My utility bills are going through the roof. How can I take advantage of the sun and put my lazy roof to work?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Energy team reporting. When you're ready to make your home or business more efficient, Action Electrical has the power to install solar panel systems and EV chargers.
Facing an electrical menace? Call on the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta with supercharged skills and strong family values. ActionElectrical.net.
Is it Riverside Motorsports? No. It's Riverside Motorsports. Over 55 years in business, and people still get it wrong. Guess it's time to get it right.
Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
When you see big discounts on a vehicle, you think last year's model, right? Not at St. Albert Dodge. They are continuing to knock 10% off the sticker price of every single 2025 Ram 1500 truck on the lot. We're talking this year's model. Motor Trend's Truck of the Year with a hot new interior and drivetrain options with increased horsepower and better fuel economy. The 2025 Ram 1500, 10% off and over 100 to choose from. That's how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what?
Dang.
They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference.
Yes!
FittedGolf.ca.
Explore Internet just got 10 times faster. 5G Ultra brings incredible speeds to homes in rural and small town Canada. Upgrade today at xplore.ca.
Are you an HVAC or refrigeration company stressed about meeting your customers' temporary refrigeration needs? No need to worry. The solution is easy. Think Easy Chill Rentals. For repair, maintenance, or even special events, Easy Chill Rentals guarantees you a no-hassle, short or long-term solution for your refrigeration needs. Easy Chill provides mobile walk-in coolers and freezers to customers all over Western Canada. For sales and rentals, don't sweat it, just chill with Easy Chill Rentals. Visit EasyChillRentals.com today.
Biodiversity is disappearing, and most of us aren't noticing. For Earth Day, it's time to open our eyes. 10 endangered species are still around. Can you find them all before they disappear? Play Earth Day's Seek and Find game on earthday.ca.
Spring style and road-ready performance are more affordable than ever. Now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save up to $5,000. Lease a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 4.9% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save $2,000. Get ready for the open road at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services, only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Garage Superstore. By Premier Built Garage is your one-stop shop for everything garage, from accessories and storage solutions to cabinets, vehicle hoists, storage racks, and Traeger grills. We've got everything you need to maximize your space. Visit our 8,000 square foot showroom at Calgary Trail and 34th Ave or online at garagesuperstore.ca.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$450. Gregor, Halley, Declan Kruger with you on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely Tuesday afternoon. The Oilers didn't skate today. Obviously, with all the time in the play, you don't see a lot of skating, to be honest, during in between days. Sometimes there's no skate. Sometimes there's an optional. They'll just take the morning skate. You're not going to see a lot of that. I don't put much stock into it at all. The rest is king at this time of the year for all the players. Now, let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick, where, hey, that's what The Brick does. They like to save you more, where right now you can get massive savings till the end of the month, up to 60% off furniture, mattresses, certain appliances, and even on mattresses. How about $99? Ooh, get a good sleep at The Brick and The Brick Mattress Store.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason. Question number 1 for you. Is there one thing specifically the Oilers need to clean up to ensure victory in Game 2 tomorrow night?
Wow, their defensive game, 100%. You just can't give up that many chances. And, well, be ready to start. God, where do I stop? Be ready to start. Offensively, have a pulse. Goaltender make another save. Defensively, stop leaking chances. Man, it's everywhere. There's not just one thing. It's a multiple of things that the Oilers need to improve on. I think they're capable of it, but they got to do it.
Yeah, I mean, big answer. Just don't make things easier on the Kings. And I'll just say, don't give them those gifted opportunities. Don't take penalties you don't need to. Their power play was good. Avoid those sorts of things. And, geez, a quicker start would be nice as well. Like you said, lots of ways you could go with that answer. Question number 2, what do you think the odds are the Oilers make a goalie change after Coach Knobloch declined to announce a starter today?
I think that's just the coach trying to make the LA Kings think more. I think Stuart Skinner's going to start.
Yeah, I think it's low. I think, another performance like that, total goals going in, maybe you try to do something. But to me, it would be a little bit desperate to make that move for Game 2. So I'm going to say low, 15, 20%, just to give it a chance. Question number 3 for you. At age 82, after his contract's not going to be renewed with the Islanders, do you think Lou Lamoriello is done in the NHL?
Well, yes. Why would another organization hire him at this stage to be in that position? What has he shown lately that deserves to say, hey, this is a guy now? When was the last time he had a team, a consistent contender? Right? I know he's with the Devils till 2015, and that was great. And he had some good players. And then, hey, they built a great thing there. You know, he helped some small ways in Toronto, I think, in some of the decisions. But ultimately, no, I would. I don't see any reason, to be honest.
I'm going to say yes, but not as a GM. I think he'll latch on somewhere as an advisor. I mean, he's 82 years old. He's still doing it. So I think he will pop up somewhere, but not as a GM. Question number 4 for you. Today is National Baseball Day. If you had the ability, which position would you want to play the most at the major league level?
Center field all day long. I never liked infield. I wasn't good enough at infield, so I want to be realistic. Center field, there's nothing better covering some ground. You know what? You don't have to have the best arms to be a center fielder because I wouldn't have that. But, you know, just love tracking balls. So I'll say center field.
Yeah, I grew up loving the shortstop position. Jeter, A-Rod, those types of guys. I'm going to say closer. I want to be the guy. Game on the line, extreme entrance, come out like a WWE superstar. I think that would be the route I'd like to take. Just come in for a couple innings, do the job, and get out of there. Final question for you. Legendary actor and Lakers superfan Jack Nicholson celebrating his 88th birthday today. There is a long list to choose from, but from all of his work, do you have a favorite movie and or character?
Oh, go ahead.
Ooh, it's tough to pick just one, but I absolutely love The Departed. So Frank Costello, I thought he was so good. And then hearing more and more about how he would improvise with Scorsese and like, this is a good line, but if I say one or two things or laugh at a certain thing, it's just going to make this character even better. So Frank Costello, I thought he was awesome.
Yeah, it's hard for me when he was Jessup in A Few Good Men. You can't handle the truth. Like he was, I'm going to go with that one. He's had a lot of good ones. When he was, what was his character? Melvin. I think it was Melvin in As Good as It Gets. he was pretty funny, but I'm going to go definitely A Few Good Men. Now I know he's had lots of other ones, right? Like people are going to, you know, you go back in time. Some of them like I watched The Shining and I don't love The Shining as much as everybody raved about it. I watched it and, you know, I didn't get it. Now I know there's lots of people who would love him in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and lots of others. But for me, just in my lifetime, I'm going with You Can't Handle the Truth. He was awesome. You know what? Geez, I might kind of forgot about when he was the Joker in Batman.
I was going to say, he's good Joker.
He was really good Joker. So I'm torn. I guess I'll go with my first inclination, but I could have a lot of time for him as the Joker.
Have you seen, it's not a surprise to you, I'm sure. I haven't seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Is that like one I should be going to check out?
It's funny you say that. I haven't watched it in a long time. And when I know maybe it was a time in my life, I was kind of like, I thought it was good. I didn't love it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if it's a movie now, because that movie was like mid-70s. I don't know how well it would age, to be honest. Like, I think it was probably great for its time, but like everything, some movies don't, it's just hard to stand up to the test of time. So I don't know. I probably couldn't answer that question, honestly, because my impression might not have been the best. I thought it was meh. I didn't love it.
Good to know. Good to know.
But you know, people like, they rave about it, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's kind of like a drama. It's like a comedy. It's kind of funny, but also as a drama. And it was, you know, the whole psychological stuff. So it had a pretty good cast in it. So from that aspect, it probably, someone out there might know better than me, who's maybe seen it more times than I have, if it would still hold up pretty well now. I don't know. I don't want to commit to that time for you, and then you'll be like, Gregor, that was terrible. So
an hour 35 runtime.
Oh, that's perfect for you.
2 hours. Yeah, it's
no, an hour 35, man. That's only an hour 35 minutes. Isn't that what it is? 95 minutes?
135.
135 minutes.
2 hours, 5 minutes.
Yeah, you're out now. You can't. Connor just looks at the minutes. It's like, I'm out.
Has to grip me in the first little bit for me to really lock into that.
Coach comes up to Connor. Hey, Cons, you want to play more tonight? Well, Coach, how many minutes are you talking? Are we talking 20? Nah, no. That's too many
Why
minutes.
do you think I said closer in baseball?
Minutes.
Because get me in there, get me out.
Yeah.
Question for you, because I know you watch some HBO shows. Did you watch the newest episode of The Last of Us? Are you into that show?
I just started actually.
Okay.
I'm just starting episode 1.
Okay.
And so, but I only watched I started watching too late at night and I fell asleep. So I probably gotta rewatch after the last 10 minutes. So
yeah, big episode on the weekend.
How many episodes are you in now? What is that?
We're
3?
up to season 2, episode 2. So you're not that far
I'm only
behind.
one episode behind you.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
Yeah,
you're on season 2?
Yeah, I'm on season 2.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So episode 2 is a big one?
I heard Declan and Donovan hyping it up yesterday, so I immediately went and watched it. Very good episode.
Ooh, okay.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
All right. Okay. So just very good episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can live with that. Let's get to a sports 1440 update brought to you by Booster Juice. Mix it up with Booster Juice and their 2 booster mixers. There's Zesty Berry Booster Mixer and the Bango Mango Booster Mixer. Download the Boosters Reward app and order one today only at Booster Juice.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Lou Lamoriello will not return as GM of the New York Islanders. The team made that announcement today that the contract will not be renewed. The Islanders had made the playoffs in 4 of the 6 seasons at the home, but finished outside looking in this past season, finishing with just 82 points. On the ice tonight, after 20 minutes, Devils lead the Hurricanes 1-0. Carolina leads that series 1-0. Later on this evening, got the Leafs looking to take a 2-0 series lead over the Sens at 5:30. Then at 6:30, it's game 1 between the Lightning at Panthers. At 9 o'clock, the Minnesota Wild will try to even up their series with Vegas. In the association, 3 games tonight. Pacers host the Bucks, the Grizz in OKC, and the Timberwolves up against Los Angeles, Minnesota, OKC, and the Pacers leading their series 1-0. In the majors, the Blue Jays are in Houston, set to take on the Astros. First pitch set for 6:10. Couple games underway right now. In the third, the Yankees lead the Guardians 1-0. Marlins on top of the Reds 1-0, and the Nationals have a 2-0 lead over the Orioles. In the first out in Boston, the Red Sox trail the Mariners 1-0. In the WHL tonight, we've got 2 games, including a game 7 with the Winterhawks and Silvertips meeting in Everett. Also, Chiefs taking on the Royals, leading 3-2. Both those games get going just after 8. In the AJ League Final, Grand Prairie hosting Calgary. Canucks lead that series 2-0. That'll start at 7. Also at 7, the Crusaders hosting Brooks out at the Sherwood Park Arena. Bandits lead that series 2-0. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we will be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and Derek Van Dies from NHL.com. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular price. The works, the meats. Pick your favorite specialty pizza and get even more delicious Papa John's to enjoy. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, Come on, thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold, to the vents start pushing out tornadoes. Bundle my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a new from Legacy! Oh yeah, save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
In 1973, deep in the basement of an Edmonton family home, an elite team of specialized forces came together to form Action Electrical.
Action Electrical Divisions, assemble!
Projects team reporting.
Service team reporting.
Testing team reporting.
Energy team reporting.
Supercharged with skills in their electrical fields and grounded by strong family values. Facing an electrical menace? Call on the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
Now until April 30th, the Brick is saving you more. Save up to 60% off Canadian-made sofas when you buy the Matching Love Cedar Chair. Save up to 40% off select mattresses. And when you use your Flexity card, get equal monthly payments and 0% interest for 60 months on furniture and mattress purchases. Plus, you're automatically entered to win a $5,000 Brick shopping spree. And the more you buy, the more you save, up to an additional $1,200 off select major kitchen appliances. Some exclusions apply. See thebrick.com for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. Support Canada West and Diablo, the 2 best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save on Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard.
Tuesday, hey, you know what? Hey, you got to shake it off, right? Got to shake it off.
Terrific.
The Alzheimer's Face-Off presented by Christensen Communities Limited. It's the ice
450.
this Friday
Gregor.
to Sunday.
Halley.
Don't miss the Champions Luncheon on Friday,
Declan
April
Kruger.
25th at the Edmonton Convention Center. Tables are on sale now. This year's event is hosted by accomplished sports journalist and author Scott Morrison and features the legendary locker room tales of Mike Keenan. Iron Mike grew from a highly respected NHL player to one of the most passionate coaches in hockey history. For more information or to purchase your Champions Luncheon table, visit alzheimersfaceoff.ca.
Hey, Alberta. The all-new Play Alberta app is here. Casino, sports betting, lottery, all in one app, right on your phone. And because it's Play Alberta, you know it's safe, secure, and reliable. Download it now and play over 500 online casino games, live dealer tables, and unique games you'll love. Plus, bet on sports from anywhere in the province. You in? Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and deposit using promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on the house. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantork.com.
Hat-tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.506. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440. Sports1440.ca, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely Tuesday. The NHL playoffs, of course, have begun for another evening. You've got the Hurricanes hosting the New Jersey Devils. You have the Leafs and the Sens getting going in about 40 minutes' time, and the Panthers and the Lightning. And, well, I'll just say that if Matthew Tkachuk plays, then there can really be nothing to the story that the teams were scrutinizing certain teams. Because you're going to tell me that Tkachuk just got magically healthy enough to play in the playoffs, but not the final game of the regular season? Like, you can't pick and choose. So it's either all the teams or it's a theory that isn't matched by reality. So we'll probably find out tonight. And he was activated from the IR. So, like, why could the league realistically tell Colorado and Edmonton that they can't play their guys, but Florida's allowed to? Like, honestly, if I'm just being realistic here for a second, and what would stop Edmonton from playing him? What are they going to do publicly? Say you can't play him? No, we're going to play him. Like, what could they do? There's nothing they could do. It's the rule book is the rule book, right? Like, honestly, what could they have done? So I don't know. Maybe I'm too sane. Maybe I got to think irrational because it's the NHL. I don't know. Seems odd. 833-401-1440. You can text us your thoughts in our email inbox. Let's get to the spec report brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists. They make your life easier and more enjoyable with running water, indoor plumbing, and even helping out on the roadways. They're the grinders of the construction industry. GS Construction, as Mark Spector joins us from LA. And Spec, just listening to the head coach today when he was asked about Kane or Klingberg, sure got the sense that Klingberg is much more likely to play than Kane tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, what was the final minutes on Brown? I didn't even can't even remember.
He played less than 5.
Right. So why not? You know, we know that this team isn't. They prefer a nimble, a good puck moving, a guy that's good with a puck and a stick ahead of a big, strong, physical defenseman like Brown. Like, that's just the MO around here. It goes from Bowman on down. So if Klingberg's healthy, I think all day long, given a choice, they'd play Klingberg ahead of Brown, don't you?
It's possible, yeah, but I don't know if I would, based on what I saw earlier, I'm not sure Klingberg I would put under the nimble category.
Well, I think he was pretty good. He was decent with the puck. It was without the puck, I didn't like his game much. When the puck found his stick, he seemed to know what to do with it. Now, he hasn't played for a while. He's probably going to play 6-7 minutes himself. I don't think we should waste a ton of our segment talking about a guy that's going to play 5 minutes.
No, I'm not going to swap. No, and I was more so about the fact that it doesn't sound like Kane's going to play tomorrow.
I don't know if Kane's going to play. I'm getting a little tired of the drama around Kane, and I'm not blaming the player. We could be anywhere from Kane could play tomorrow to the team knows Kane's never going to play for it again, and they're just stringing us along. I'm sick of talking, and this isn't between you and me. I'm just sick of the topic of, is Kane going to play? Is Kane going to play? Is Kane going to play? Wake me up when he plays, right? Wake me up when he plays. The guy hasn't played in 10 months. He's not going to walk in the door and make you win. So I think I'm bored with the topic of, is Kane going to play? Because we don't know the real answer. As a journalist, if I can't find the truth, then I don't even want to go near the thing. And I don't know. Do you know what the truth is? Because I don't know what the truth is.
No, I don't. All I've seen is the guy skating for a while.
Me too.
And so we'll see. I don't know. If Tkachuk plays tonight, there can't be anything to what Friedman said about how they scrutinize some teams, but not Florida. That makes no sense, does it?
Yeah, no. I mean, you won't catch me criticizing Elliot Friedman. He's right all the time and a hell of a reporter. The story just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. I'm with you. I just heard your preamble. I'm with you. The rules are the rules. They played by the rules. If they want to play the player, they can play the player. We Tampa did it. Chicago did it first with Kane, right? Tampa did it with Kucherov. Vegas did it. Why the Oilers don't have to be a nicer guy than everybody else? So, look, I'm not doubting Elliott's reporting. I'm sure he's got reasons to report what he reported, but I don't really understand it. And it's playoffs. It's not time to be a nice guy here. It's time to win playoff games.
Speaking of the playoff game last night, Spec.
Yes,
it's the day
game,
huh? Well, it was a hell of a finish. It definitely was. You might have needed a pillow in the first 38 minutes of that game. The Oilers did nothing. That might have been the most uneventful 38 minutes of a playoff game. I love Struddy's because, man, I felt like they didn't think they were in a playoff game. They weren't battling as hard, and then they kind of woke up. Draisaitl on the bench. I'm not sure if you saw it, but you could see it. He's kind of, it's 4-0, and a few other things to his teammates on the bench, and that seemed to get their attention. I don't know if it was just a coincidence or not, but that they had some life after that, and they made it a game. But man, for 38 minutes, it was not a game, and they were leaking chances all over. They were creating nothing. It was awful first 38 minutes.
Yeah, it was. It was an awful first 38 minutes and a pretty crappy last 42 seconds too. Whatever it was. Chris Knobloch, we spoke at length with him today, and he really, the topic is I wrote a piece on Skinner and Bouchard together, and I know what the Edmonton sports fan is all over Stu Skinner, and I heard your stuff with Woodley. I'm not at all surprised. It's funny. Skinner was the better goalie in the game last night. He had to be, right? He had way more high danger chances. He faced the 5-on-3s. He was better than Kemper. Kemper led in 5. No one in this town's wondering if he's going to start tomorrow. But all of a sudden it's should Skinner start? Should he play? Is he any good? But I will also say to you that this is just another game where 6 go in, and we're saying, Skinner didn't play that bad, but 6 went in. And you can't win, as Stu Skinner said today, you can't win games letting in 6. So, why did the goals go in? I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's all Stu Skinner's fault. I am going to say what Chris Knobloch said was we gave him 3 goals, absolutely handed him 3 goals. Kempe in front of the net with no one on him. Deneau in front of the net with no one on him. And he's talking about the last goal where Fogle was allowed to stand right in front of Skinner. And those 3 goals all come from the same source. So, I think this town's got to stop talking about why goals are going in by looking at the last man in Skinner and figure out why goals are going in by looking at the guys who had the puck and gave it away.
Yeah, well, the giveaway technically on the last goal would I guess be McDavid. I think that's not really a giveaway. To me, that's a great play.
That's not a giveaway.
Yeah, well, he knocks it down, right? If you get that pass through, he's trying to go down low, but Gavrikov makes a good play. And then Deneau, that's just an unlucky goal. It's one of the, I don't know if I've ever seen a guy fan that bad on a shot and ends up fluttering up and over. And it just, you could argue that LA might have deserved to win because they were the better team for longer stretches of the game. And so maybe that's just was a fitting end to it. But, Edmonton did pick up a lot of things in that third period spec. They used their feet more. They're more engaged. They look quicker. I thought that they attacked to say they attacked different is probably an understatement because they didn't attack in the first 38 minutes. But I saw and how they attacked LA in their offensive zone. LA likes to have two defensemen low, and they kind of almost like to have their three forwards almost equally in a line in perfect scenario. It doesn't always work, but it happens at times. And Edmonton would create some space on them, right? Because the minute all you have to do is beat one man, and then the other guy has to come and help you. So you do that. You can almost break down any system if you can beat somebody one-on-one. And the Oilers had a few plays where they beat guys one-on-one, and that led to goals.
Well, that's sort of that's what the trap always tried to do to the original trap, right? It funneled you into a place where you either A, had to dump the puck in, or B, you tried to beat a guy. But because there was a couple guys there, the odds of you pulling off that move were low. And it then created the neutral zone turnover, right? That the trap feeds off of, that any of those 1-3-1s feed off of. They feed off of teams that don't want to dump it in. And it gets turned over. Like we've watched Leon Draisaitl go against this Kings team for 4 years, right? Nobody hates to dump a puck in more than Leon Draisaitl. We all know that. He lives not to dump pucks in. But even Leon has learned over the years, there's a lot of times against his Kings teams, you got to dump pucks in if you try to force it through what they're doing. And I know they've changed a little this year, but the fundamental is still the same. They put you in a position where you got to beat someone one-on-one to break them down. And if you don't beat them and it goes the other way, they got a 2-on-1 or they have an odd man break. And that's the fundamental way they play. So what happens, and this is hockey 101 here, what happens is you end up dumping it in all night. They end up chucking it out all night. You dump it in, they chuck it out. That's why trap and 1-3-1 teams are boring as hell because nothing happens when they play. That's why they win 2-1 because it's boring, dull, crappy hockey. And that's what the Kings are trying to do to you every day of every year. And maybe this year it'll work. Hasn't worked for 3 years. Maybe this year it'll work.
Yeah, we'll see. What did you make of Frederick's first game?
That's okay. It's okay. I don't, and I'm not being critical of a guy that has played as little as him. He was okay. He didn't hurt him. He made a nice play in the Janmark goal, I thought. Didn't hurt him. And then when the game got down to, when it came time to cut your bench down, we asked Knobloch today, he only played 2 shifts in the third period. So we kind of thought, oh my goodness, I hope he's not injured again. And Knobloch said, no, he's not injured. I cut my bench down. And when you're cutting your bench down and you got a guy that has played as little as him, he's one of the guys that gets cut down, unfortunately. So he'll get a little more ice time as time goes on. But, he didn't hurt himself last night, but he didn't do much. What do you think?
Yeah, well, exactly. I thought, was okay. They did have, his line. He had the few rebounds, goes to the net. Fine. I thought he looked a little tentative. And so I'm wondering if for him, the mental hurdle to get through that game could be a big one, right? Because I didn't notice him. Now you're in the building because I was watching every time because he winced almost every time he delivered a hit in Anaheim. And it was noticeable. And I didn't notice that in the game. So that's good. I know that TV doesn't show a lot. You see guys behind the play, how they're going to go to the bench, laboring or anything like that. So I didn't see it. So to me, that's a good step. And probably psychologically for him, that'll allow him to be a little bit more assertive in game 2.
Yeah, fair. He came out in his first game with the Oilers, and he threw a hit 2 seconds into the game and hurt his ankle. Mm-hmm. So probably the next time you say, you know what? I might save that hit for the second or third shift, right? That's just human nature, man. So if he tiptoes in a little bit, I don't blame him. That's fine. We've said it a lot of times here. They've got some injuries around this team that it's going to take. They got to play long enough for Frederick to help this team. I don't think he's going to help him in the first game or the second game much. They got to play long enough for him to help him. Evander Kane's the same guy. Like, you got to play, in my opinion, for Evander Kane to help this team, he's got to start playing tomorrow, and they're going to have to play into the second or third round before Evander Kane's going to be any good.
You look at, we've talked about some lineup changes. He went to Draisaitl McDavid fairly quickly in the game, right? Because they were trailing, and I don't love that. And I know it worked in the third period, but I've said it before. I'm not a big believer because it was only 2-0 for stretches when he went to him. And
I agree.
They weren't doing anything, but what do you make of that, Spec? Like, I just think it almost gets everybody else out of the ribbon at the same time. Like, it's 1 or 2-0. It's not like the NHL 2-goal leads aren't what they used to be.
Yeah, no, you make a point there. It's not what it used to be. And I agree. I thought that they jumped on that gas pedal a little quick last night, Knobloch did. So yes, I get it when it's 4-0, you blow everything up and you double shift those guys to the end of the game, for sure. No, 15 minutes into the game, 2-0, we all commented upstairs. Like every media guy says, uh-oh, here we go. We're already into plan B. Right? It doesn't show a ton of faith in what you got going on among your four lines. I'll admit, I would say that. But, I mean, 'twas ever thus. If you criticize Knobloch for it, you better criticize every other coach that's coached here in the last 10 years.
Yeah. Well, just because somebody's done it, hey, if everybody jumped off, jump off the bridge, like, I get it in certain situations. Now, the Oilers power play, Spec, like we talked about the series before it began. Special teams last year, the Oilers were 145% in the series. They won. After one game, the Kings are 140% and the Oilers are 60%. Like, it hasn't been talked about enough, but the Oilers special teams got murdered last night.
Oh, yeah, they did. Zach Hyman said it after the game. We lost the special teams battle, and everyone in Edmonton knows, right? You win the special teams battle. If you win the special teams battle in 5 playoff games, if you don't win 3 of them, you win 4 of them. So it's huge. And the difference this year is LA's power play is better. It's better than it was. So check mark to them. And I'm going to say to you, the Oilers penalty kill isn't going to be as good as it was last year, which was incredibly unbelievable, right? They're just not going to live up to that again. So, that's I won't criticize the Oilers for taking penalties. I don't think
they really only took 3 penalties, right? The over the glass and the challenge, like that's not like a hooking, roughing penalty. Those are just, it is what it is. Like there's no, hey, it's over the glass, it's a penalty. It's not.
Yeah, and
debatable.
I mean, Chris Knobloch said today, he said, I had 15 guys on that bench swear to God they heard or saw that puck hit the glass. Everybody thought it hit the glass. And frankly, that's something you hear. It's like a foul tick in baseball. An umpire never sees a foul tick that gets caught by the catcher, but he can hear it. So whatever. I'm in the press box. I'm sure as heck not hearing it up there. The Hyman penalty was a bad call, in my opinion. Kulak was a chintzy call to start the game. That little hold. Did he have his hand in the stick? Yeah, he did. But holy man. And really, the Wallman penalty was a legit penalty. He cross-checked and the ref had to call it on a 5-on-3. That cost him a goal. That wasn't very smart. But listen, there's going to be penalties. The Oilers, if they play better for 40 minutes, they'll draw more penalties. They were on their heels the whole first 40 minutes, which I think explains the disparity in penalties until we get to the third period.
Yeah. And really, the 5-on-3 came off of, got 2 penalties on essentially one play, and none of them had to do with, wow, you didn't call that in the other team. Well, LA never shot the puck over the glass. So
it wasn't a good play by Wallman. Like, I'll give him credit. If he hit the glass, then he got a bad deal. But he had acres of time and space to move that puck or skate that puck. There was no need to make that play. That was a bit of a panic play.
Yep.
And that's why we put that rule into the sport. So you can't just panic and shoot it in the crowd. You got to make a play. And he did not make a play.
Yeah, I think that's totally valid. Now the Oilers spec, I look, their history of game 1 is not good. They're 3-11 in the McDavid era. They are and 3-10, I guess, if we go in 7-game series, and then they're 4-13 in the salary cap era as an organization. But funny enough, they've of the 16 other ones, they're 10-6 in winning the series. They've done a good job of being able to come back to win despite losing game 1. Because if you lose game 1, 68% of the time you lose the series based on the history of the NHL. Yet the Oilers in this time have won 10 of 16. Like they're the opposite. Like they buck the trend significantly, right? Like they should only have a 32% chance of winning, and they're winning, they're winning way more than that. So, I can see there being confidence for the group. You're around them today. What do you sense? Is it frustration? Is it calm? Because you've been around before when they they were frustrated after the Florida few games, right? You sense that tonight? Like, were they frustrated that they just weren't ready to play?
Yeah, no. I mean, we talked today to McDavid and Skinner and the head coach, and no, absolutely the opposite. The one thing I am seeing with this team that is a notable change over the years is they're just very calm. They're very, very calm. They've been through it, all this stuff. They don't waste a bunch of time on an off day getting worked up and worried. I mean, they'll save their energy for game day. They're not sitting there going, "Oh my God, we're down 1-0." And as you point out, Jason, okay, so you got your stat for if you lose game one, but the team that goes in the road, you're just looking to win one of the first two.
Yeah.
And what's my stat? What's your stat on if the road team that comes home with a split? I'll bet you they're over 50. Right?
I'd have to go back and look at that one.
Yeah, I'm not positive, but I'm guessing here. So, the job is to get over 50. And then I guess if you don't win, if you don't win game two, the job's to come home and win them both. So,
yeah, like teams have done it. When you play the odds, Edmonton so far has bucked the trend of the NHL odds significantly.
They have. I guess I want to say to you that the Oilers, there's always a way to find a half full glass unless you get beat 10-0. And the Oilers are going to tell you that they only played a period of hockey last night, and the Kings couldn't handle them during that period of hockey. Like, their best was way too good for the Kings, and they siphoned 5 pucks past Darcy Kemper in about 20 minutes. 20 minutes and what was it? 5 seconds, right? Yeah. They scored 5 goals on the great Darcy Kemper that's supposed to be unbelievable, and usually he has been. So there's a ton of positives there. What happens if you play 60 minutes? So that's how they're looking at it. Their best was more than good enough last night. They just didn't play it for long enough. They got to figure out how to extend that period.
Spec, enjoy the night. We'll chat with you tomorrow.
Hey, thanks, Jake.
Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. DVD will join us. We'll talk more on the Oilers and the Los Angeles Kings. Lineup changes. Honestly, it's Klingberg. And like Spec said, like, you're taking a guy out who's played 5 minutes. Like, that's not why they lost the game. So could he help the team? Maybe. But based on how Klingberg's played here, it's not like I'm like, oh, geez, this is going to be a massive upgrade. So it's not like Troy Stetcher coming back in. I've liked Troy Stetcher's game. Now, if it's Matthias Ekholm coming back in, now we're talking a significant change. You're not, for me, for Klingberg, for Brown. I don't think it's that significant. Quick break. We'll return to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
I take possession of my commercial space in 3 months. I need lighting. I need a fire alarm. I need data. I need a generator. I need panels.
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Projects team reporting. We design, build, and construct all the electrical systems for your projects. Need everything to work right? Get the Action Electrical project team on your site.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features, including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers presents a massive 5-day unreserved heavy equipment auction at their Nisku site, April 29th to May 3rd, 8 a.m. Live online bidding on offer. Core construction, heavy equipment, trucks, trailers, nearly every industry covered. Register to bid online. It's free. Priority bids start April 23rd. On-site viewing starts April 23rd. And timed auction starts April 23rd. Demand for equipment is strong. Contact your local territory manager to consign. More at rbauction.com.
Spring style and road-ready performance are more affordable than ever. Now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save up to $5,000. Lease a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 4.9% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save $2,000. Get ready for the open road at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services, only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Truck Month is on now at GMC, and it's one of the best times to get behind the wheel. Right now, get a $5,000 cash purchase credit on 2025 Sierra HD models with a 13.4-inch diagonal center touchscreen, an available Duramax 6.6-liter turbo diesel V8 engine with 470 horsepower, plus the most trailering assistance technologies in its class. Sierra has some serious hauling power and is the only off-road ready HD. Truck Month is on now. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers presents a massive 5-day unreserved heavy equipment auction at their Nisku site, April 29th to May 3rd, 8 a.m. Live online bidding on offer. Core construction, heavy equipment, trucks, trailers, nearly every industry covered. Register to bid online. It's free. Priority bids start April 23rd. On-site viewing starts April 23rd. And timed auction starts April 23rd. Demand for equipment is strong. Contact your local territory manager to consign. More at rbauction.com.
We've been waiting for this since preseason. It's playoff time, and Sports 1440 is your home for all things hockey. Kevin, Lowtide, Jason, and the pre- and post-game shows with Andrew. So many reasons why we're Edmonton's sports leader.
This jam is amplified. Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor. Sherbrooke's a house of curiosities, a mom and pop, a curated experience that is equal parts wine tastings and 2-4s for May long. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
5:31. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram on a busy Tuesday. The Gregor Show is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Get your tickets tonight. Lotto Max, $55 million. Woo! That feel good for you. Good luck. Hope you win. PlayAlberta.ca. We continue on with our playoff push. Playoff report brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. Truck Month is on now at GMC. You get 0% financing for up to 72 months on a 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. See more at gmccanada.ca. As we welcome in from NHL.com, Derek Van Diest joins us. DVD, welcome back, my man. How you doing?
Good, Jason. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm good, man. There's lots going on. I love the playoffs. The emotional people are fired up. It's good. It's bad. It's up. They're down. There's some teams are good. Obviously, last night was a kind of a tale of two games. It was, LA was obviously loving the first 38 minutes. Then the Oilers, like probably the next 21, obviously didn't like the final minute on a very odd game-winning goal. But when you look back on that and you say, okay, did LA dominate and then let up? Did Edmonton? Was they lethargic and then got going? Like, did last night show us anything of who the better team is?
No, I don't think so. And the reason I say that is because I think the Oilers had 4 players that are coming back from injury that hadn't played towards the end of the regular season. I think you had Draisaitl. He had missed 7 games. Hyman had missed 3 games. Frederick hadn't played since forever. He had played 7 minutes. Who am I missing? Wallman hadn't played for 5 games. Stuart Skinner had played 2 games in the last, what was it, 12 or 13. So they had so many guys that were just kind of coming back into the fold that I figured it would take them a while to kind of find their legs. I figured it would take them a while to kind of find their footing. And I thought for the most part, the Oilers did well in that first period, and then they gave up the late goal. And then that kind of put them in a hole. But once they kind of got skating, once they kind of found their stride, I thought they were a little better in the second and a lot better in the third period, but they're still making too many mistakes, Jason. There were just too many errors that you can't make playing playoff hockey. You cannot give goals away in the playoffs. And you think they would have learned that lesson last year, but You look at how many giveaways they had, how many bad penalties they took. And if you're going to be a championship team, you have to play that way. And last night they didn't. Listen, the Oilers got the two best players in the world, and you can saw that McDavid can dominate a game of himself. But you can't do anything about the dumb passes out front or the bad reads or the bad plays. And there was just way too many of them. And you got to clean that up. If the Oilers can clean that up, I think they'll be fun in the series. But you just can't give away goals in the playoffs. And to me, I could go back and say, hey, they gave away up 3, maybe 4 goals in that game by just making mental errors and making bad decisions with the puck.
Yeah, I think that's totally valid. Edmonton that's been a theme for a while that, they have a tendency to want to beat themselves. There's no question about it. They also have a tendency that they can beat the other teams. And, that's, that I still like LA isn't, an overly physical team. And maybe that's why it makes sense to put Klingberg in over Brown. I don't have a big issue there. I don't think Klingberg is going to play a ton of minutes either, to be honest. I think in an ideal world, they wish they had another left shot, to be fair. And who knows, that's why you could maybe make an argument. Maybe Cam Dineen, goes in and they just go a righty lefty just because. So, we'll see. But I do look at the orders and, eliminate those plays and they got a really good chance to win. Now, the other thing is LA is going to look and say, hey, we're not giving up 5 goals every game either. Right. So they'll want to be better. But, the big one that the Oilers got to focus on is the special teams battle. And I know that LA ended up with 5 power plays because 2 of them came on the one play over the glass, but it was 3-2 prior to that. And on their 3 power plays, the LA Kings looked dangerous. They scored once. Edmonton had 2 shots, none of them overly dangerous. Last year they dominated the special teams battle, and that was really the difference in the series and really has been the difference almost in every series. They're going to have to be better on the special teams tomorrow night.
Oh, definitely. They're going to have to score on the power play. And the Kings had an atrocious power play coming into the series. I think it was like 17-point-something%, 0.9. They were 27th. I think Andrei Kuzmenko has helped them a little bit in that regard. But yeah, there's going to have to be you have to win the special teams battle. And I think the Oilers got to get that power play going again. And to me, sometimes you just got to simplify. Like when McDavid and Draisaitl were out of the lineup, they scored a lot of goals, get the puck to the net, and win the battles in front of the net. And the Oilers have the guys that can do that. They have guys that can win the puck in front of the net. But you look at them yesterday, they had 6 shots through half the game. And they passed up so many good looks. And I don't know if that's the reason because they thought Kemper was in their heads or they weren't going to be Kemper with certain shots. But you got to get the puck to the net and win those battles. And I think that's something that, the players everyone's been harping on the Oilers for so long. They're always looking for that absolutely perfect play on the power play, particularly with Draisaitl and McDavid out there. They like that cross seam one-timer with Draisaitl. But sometimes you just got to step in and hammer it. They got a guy in Bouchard who can shoot the puck. They got guys in Hyman and Perry who are not afraid to go to the front of the net. And now those guys are kind of alternating on that power play now, each playing about a minute. So you got to simplify things. And I think that's what they have to do moving forward. The Kings aren't a flashy team. They're a team that works hard. They're going to go to the net. They're going to get their goals. And then once they get the lead, it's kind of tough to get it back on them because they're not an aggressive team. They like to sit back. They like to make you go through them. And I think it was just one of those things last night, which was an anomaly. And you're right, they're not going to give up 5 goals again. And you think about the Oilers, they scored, I think, 1 goal in 3 games against Los Angeles this season. They were shut out twice. And so, yeah, they
but two of those games, DVD, was you didn't have McDavid or Draisaitl, so I don't know if you can put much stock into that, right?
I get that, but they were shut out twice by this team, and then I just think that they have to get more contributions from other McDavid and Draisaitl as well, and they have the players to do it. But I just think in playoffs, you got to simplify your game and to eliminate your mistakes, and I think they didn't do either of that last night.
Yes, eliminate the mistakes for sure. You're right. They could get something more from other lines. I don't love when the coach goes McDavid and Draisaitl so early in a game because I think that takes other guys out of the game. And I also think it makes it a little bit easier on LA. And now, obviously, the third period would say, well, that's not true. Okay, fair point. But so I'll be curious how he starts. Do you think there's any chance he starts the game with McDavid and Draisaitl together?
I don't think he should, to be honest with you, because I still think Draisaitl's got to try and find his legs. Like, he's been off for a while here, so I think he's got to find his stride. But I think you're right. I think it's easier for the Kings to load up defensively if those two guys are on the same line. I think it's a little tougher when they're playing on separate lines. Yeah, you can get them together here and there, and you're right. I think it took a whole 15 minutes before they went, oh, my God, we got to put them together and try and get that spark. But I think maybe that could be a sign for the other guys to get going because a lot of guys weren't doing much. But, yeah, it's something that we've seen every coach come in here and do is like, okay, I got to put those two guys together because we're not getting anything going. And you'd like them to hold on a little bit more and try to get guys in the game because especially if the guys know, hey, if I don't do anything on my first or second or third shift, I'm probably not going to get a chance to get out there on a top six because McDavid and Draisaitl will play together. I'm not sure what their reasoning is, but I think they went to him too early. But yeah, that's obviously the weapon that Chris Knobloch has and every coach before him has used. But to me, it does make it easier for the Kings to try and shut that down if those two are on the same line.
100%. Looking at some of the other series, DVD, the Winnipeg Jets up 2-0. And really last night was kind of a clinic for the Jets. They only gave up 4 high danger chances. You know, Hellebuck, if you do that, you're really hard to score on them. And Kyle Connor scored 2 key goals. So Scheifele and Connor are rolling offensively. The Jets, they stifle things defensively. And, man, it's going to be tough for the Blues to get back in that series.
Yeah, I think it is. And I think the Blues kind of, when they went on that 14-game heater to get in the playoffs, I think they may have emptied the tank. And I don't know how much they had left. They kind of backed into the playoffs. After that, they still had some things to do, and they were able to get it done and get in the playoffs. But I don't know how much they have left. And I think for them, they're just happy to be in this situation. They got some younger players. So I think that the experience does them well. But you look at Winnipeg and you look at that team, and that team's a team on a mission. And they dropped the ball last year. The season was over before it really got going in the playoffs. They were out in 5 games, and everyone's wondering what the heck happened to this hockey team. But I think this year they're a bit more playoff savvy. I think they know what it takes to win. They're not going to make mistakes. You got Connor Halley, the best goalie in the world, in your net. Kyle Connor's playing fantastic. They're getting contributions up and down the lineup. So I think that's a team to beat. And I think, to me, that series will be over quick. If not 4, then 5. I don't think that the Blues extend that series very much longer after that.
DVD, enjoy the series. We'll talk again next Tuesday, my man. Have a great week.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on.
There you go. That's Derek Van Dies from NHL.com. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook. And next, we got a lot of texts coming in. We'll get to all those. People are fired up about the series. I love it. What changes can the Oilers make? I think it's probably more, effort and execution than it is like the lineup changes. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not expecting Kane to play. I guess there's a chance, but after listening to Chris Knobloch today, I don't think so. We'll also hear from Stuart Skinner. Next, on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. $55 million up for grabs tonight in Lotomax. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what? Dang. They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference. Yes, fittedgolf.ca.
I'm tired of waking up tired. Waking up tired.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress, guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features, including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this truck month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
If you or someone you care for are injured in a motor vehicle accident, please listen up. I'm Grant Fedoruk from Leading Edge Physiotherapy, and let me proudly say that we won't be the place your insurer tells you to go. We won't be the place because we don't sign agreements with the insurance company. We don't work for them, we work for you. We do want to be the place that your friends, family, and other medically trained professionals send you. So if your insurance company says that you have to see their therapist, you should know that's not true. You have the right to choose where you go, and we hope you choose us. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Explore Internet just got 10 times faster. 5G Ultra brings incredible speeds to homes in rural and small town Canada. Upgrade today at xplore.ca.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Oh, it's a good tune, buddy. Get you fired up. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Let's continue on. Let's go to our player report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home of the no payments. No interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Stay cool all summer at legacyheating.ca. Stuart Skinner was asked just what did he feel was missing from the team at the start of last night's game?
Just a little bit of juice. I think the way that we started wasn't actually bad. I think they were just able to get on the board quick, and then they kind of took over the game from there. So I think just being able to, obviously, when we do give up the first goal or give up the first two, however many, just being able to, keep it at one, and kind of have our guys push back. But again, going into the third period, I thought we had an amazing pushback. Obviously, we were able to tie it up with not too much time left. So shows a lot of resiliency from our group.
Well, give them the Oilers credit. They've done that a few times. They don't give up. What about what did he see on the winning goal?
Yeah, it was weird. I completely lost the puck. Obviously saw the play happen, got to a decent spot, and then whoever was in front of me, it might have been Fogey, but he was kind of right in front of me, so I lost track of the puck, and then he obviously flubbed it and has a little rainbow shot, and Fogey jumps about 7 feet off there and goes through his legs, and it's a goal. It's a breakdown that we had at a tough time, and with playoffs. Hockey's such a unpredictable game. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. In this case, not hitting a good shot by Denal was great for him. So it happens, and it's just time for us to reset.
Yeah, and hey, that's all you got to do at this point. That's really the only choice you have is to reset. What about how do you beat a team that now has won 32 games on home ice?
Yeah, I think LA's an incredible team. They're obviously one of the best teams in the league defensively as well. Very patient group over there. So I think we just got to do the same. We got to be patient. We got to be strong defensively. Being able to kind of play that chess match. So I think for us, obviously, it's tough building the win in, but we have done it before. We know how to do it. So it's just our job to, be clear-minded and not let the emotions get the best of us.
Yeah, Oilers are now 6-3 in LA in the playoffs, and we'll look to go 7-3 and get back on track tomorrow night. The resiliency is something that Skinner talked about. And it feels like it's something that the team possesses. How will that help them going into, it's not a must-win game, but obviously a fairly important game.
And keep. Yeah, absolutely. That's the goal. Being able to get a split starting in LA would be huge. So that's a win for sure. We've been in this position a ton of times, so we definitely know what to expect. We know what to expect from LA. They're going to be coming out hard because obviously they want to go up to 2-0 on the series. So talking about the resiliency, just being able to, go back into the game tomorrow and again, have that emotional control and not be too flustered with whatever's going to happen and just play our game and keep things simple.
That's a great, hey, keep things simple. And I think keep things simple, especially in the defensive zone. We saw it last night. They had a few plays where they just, they gave too easy goals to the opposition. And that is something that I think has to happen. Hey, boys, do you think the harmonicas threw them off? Honestly, I didn't see the anthem cons. And Sean Brown texts, he's like, harmonicas. And I was like, what the hell am I missing? What is he talking about? And so I don't know. I didn't see it. But what did you make of the harmonicas?
I thought it was hilarious. Like the lead up to it and then how them all kind of standing up in the ledge in the crowd. I don't know the backstory behind that, but it was a Korean senior harmonica group. Hey, good on them for trying something different. I thought they might bring out some star power. You're in Los Angeles, City of Angels. You've got all these celebrities, and that's the route they took. Maybe not as good as the bongos we saw earlier this year in that Anaheim Ducks game that Trevor Zegras referenced. They kind of threw us off to start the game, but hey, I hope they bring them back for game 2. The more harmonica anthems, the better.
More harmonica anthems, the better. Hey, big fan of the harmonica.
Yeah, it's a cool instrument.
Hey, boys, what about the Kings taking the Rangers goal song? That's bad. Was that? See, I don't know. You guys are way up on the things that I don't know about. Really? That's the Rangers goal song? It's funny. I don't even know what the Kings goal song is, and they scored 6 goals last night. But I don't know. I don't really listen to that stuff. Usually I'm watching, then I'll rewind. Okay, what happened? I'm going through it a few times. So I don't even know what the Kings goal song is. What is it? Isn't it dun dun? No, something different. I don't know. Well, I know. No, that sounds too much like Chicago. That was terrible.
All I hear is Cartman. Every time they play him saying "Go Kings, go!"
Right. Okay.
I hear it every time. The goal song, didn't notice it.
Yeah. What is the goal song? Let us know. I don't even know. So I probably should. I guess maybe I should. I don't know. I don't focus on those ones very often. So we'll see where it goes. Hey guys, I was a little worried that one of the harmonicas might make it through the whole anthem. Would have been a real newsworthy item. Hey, Gregor, why has the Oilers penalty kill got worse from this year to last? Well, because last year it was impossible to maintain that. You got to remember, in the regular season, the Oilers penalty kill, it was okay. But in the playoffs, it went nuclear. They only allowed 4 goals in 25 games. Prorate that over a season. You're letting in 14 goals all year. It's not happening, right? And then they scored 3. Their penalty kill was almost like a break even. It was ridiculous. So, yeah, it's just they got in a rhythm. Now, I know some people aren't going to want to like it, JC, but Ceci and Desharnais, they were pretty good on the penalty kill. They had those guys were in sync. Now, LA's power play this year is different. They're going with the 5-man unit. They had a really good start, 40%. Now, I wonder, does that 5-on-3 kill give Edmonton's penalty kill a lot of boost heading into the next game? We'll see. Right? It's a whole new game, but that's how confidence starts. It has to start somewhere. So if you're Edmonton, you're hoping that it does for sure. But LA's power play is a little bit better. Edmonton's penalty kill was 100%. It wasn't going to be 100% again, like in consecutive series. It's just it's extremely difficult to maintain that year over year. Different personnel, lots of different reasons. Their penalty kills aren't the same. Kings power play has different personnel, but I look at the Kings power play. And to me, if you're the Oilers, I don't even care if it's Brown, if it's Janmark, if it's Nugent Hopkins and Henrique, who's ever out there killing. When they get the puck, they really got to go against that 5 forward. I think that's if you want to slow down their power play a bit, you score 1 shorthanded goal, create a few chances, and all of a sudden you might see them. The guy, oh geez, maybe I got to get back here a little bit more just in case. Even if it doesn't lead to other chances, it might force LA to rethink things a little bit. So we shall see. On behalf of Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, I'm Jason Gregor. Have yourselves a great night. Enjoy the playoffs, NBA, NHL. We got lots more to set up the Oilers and the Kings tomorrow. Let's get to a Sports 1440 update brought to you by the Garage Superstore by Premium Built Garages. The ultimate destination for everything garage. Storage solutions, cabinets, vehicle hoists, accessories, and even Traeger grills. Visit their massive 8,000 square foot showroom on Calgary Trail and 34th Ave or online at garagesuperstore.ca by Premier Built Garages. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
In case you missed it, Lou Lamoriello will not return as GM of the New York Islanders. The team announced that his contract will not be renewed. The Islanders had made the playoffs in 4 of his 6 seasons at the position, but finished on the outside looking in this past year, finishing with 82 points, 9 back of the final wildcard spot. On the ice right now, Hurricanes lead the Devils 2-1 at the end of the second period, and midway through the first, Morgan Riley, second of the playoffs, has the Leafs on top of the Sens 1-0. Later tonight, game 1 between the Lightning and the Panthers. That'll be going at 6:30. Then at 9 o'clock, it's Golden Knights and Wild in Vegas. Vegas leading 1-0 in the association. 2 games underway right now. Pacers lead the Bucks 50-36 in the second quarter, and it's early, but the Thunder continuing their hot play. They lead the Grizzlies 22-9. Later tonight, Lakers will host the Timberwolves. Minnesota leading 1-0. Major League Baseball, Jays in action, taking on Houston. That'll get going in about 15 minutes time. Elsewhere, Dodgers on top of the Cubs 3-0. Rockies, Royals scoreless, as are the Twins and the White Sox. The Cards have a 2-0 lead over the Braves. Nationals lead the Orioles 3-0, and the Tigers at home trail the Padres 2-0. Later tonight, you got Pirates, Angels, Diamondbacks, Rays, Brewers take on the Giants, and the Athletics hosting the Rangers. In the WHL, we've got a Game 7 this evening with the Winterhawks and Silvertips meeting in Everett. And the Chiefs host the Royals, leading that series 3-2. Both those games get going just after 8 o'clock. In the AJ, Grand Prairie hosting Calgary. Canucks lead that series 2 games down. That starts at 7. Also at 7, the Crusaders hosting the Brooks Bandits out at the Sherwood Park Arena. Bandits lead that series 2-0. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, we've got Fox Sports Radio all night. Tomorrow morning, live local coverage resumes on the Kevin Carius Show. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.